Two of the top teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League are set to do battle in just around 10 minutes. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner Joe Pratt and our sideline reporter Adele Huffman as the 7-2 Y.D Red Sox square off against the 6-3 Cotuit Kettleers. And Joe, last night Cotuit extended their winning streak to 5 games in comeback fashion.
Yeah, it was a 5-game win streak that was extended based off of more infield mistakes that the Kettleers made by the other team. Falmouth making mistakes, but it was really Cotuit that was putting the ball in play and being able to take advantage of those mistakes, which ended up allowing them to cruise to a victory 4-2 last night over the Commodores.
With the national anthem just moments away, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Just moments away from first pitch here in YD as we take a look at this Cotuit Kettleers lineup. And Joe, a couple of more new faces in this Cotuit lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with Charles Davalon, we'll get the start in the leadoff spot today and in center field at a Florida Gulf Coast. He immediately made an impact last night as a pinch hitter, was a pinch hitter for Trevor Haskins, who was making his return to the Cotuit roster. He went 0 for 2, but then Davalon with a major solo home run at the end of that ball game to put the Kettleers up 4-2, and a breakthrough moment for him. Played in the first few scrimmages of the year, but was patient, waited around to finally join this roster a couple games into the season, and wasted no time to make a difference in the Kettleers lineup. He's followed in the lineup by Nolan Naraki, who bats second and plays at third. Tanner Thatch in the 3 spot plays at first base. Brandon Compton playing in left field out of Arizona State. He bats cleanup. Tyler Cerny, the shortstop, bats fifth out of Indiana. Chris Arroyo getting the start at DH today, batting sixth. Grant Jay back behind the dish for the second straight game. He bats seventh. Reese Holbrook gets his first start of the summer and plays in right field. Jaron Advincula rounding out the order at 9 and playing at second.
This is the Kettleer lineup that'll square off against Sean Youngerman, and this is the second time Youngerman has faced the Kettleers. In the first outing that was back at Lowell Park, YD came away with the 9-6 victory, and in that game, Youngerman went 3 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, did not walk a batter, and struck out 5. As just about moments away from first pitch here at Merrill Wilson Field in Y.D. Davallon digs in, the lefty, set to lead things off at the top of this Cotuit order. Sean Youngerman is ready. Charles Davallon is ready. Youngerman comes set and deals the first pitch. That is in there for strike number 1, and we are underway here in Y.D. Like you mentioned, Joe, last night, Davallon 1 for 2, but hit a big solo home run that gave the Kettleers their insurance run. That allowed them to come away with a 4-2 victory over Falmouth. As counting is even at 1-1 as Davallon takes the pitch low and inside. Youngerman out of the stretch, pops this one high up in the air, right on the third base line. Getting underneath it is Cade McGee, but the wind takes it and that ball will fall. So Davallon stays alive after fouling the pitch as McGee lost it in the sun as the wind just kind of took it and it fell in foul territory.
Yeah, the wind definitely swirling above Red Wilson Field. That one in foul territory, bringing McGee far off the line towards the dugout of Y.D. on that third base side, having to walk about 10 feet into the grass towards Mike Roberts there at the coaching box. But then the wind pushes it all the way back in, nearly in fair territory, and lands just a couple feet to the left of the chalk down that left field line. And he will go far back to his position at what is normal shortstop for the big shift on Davallon.
The 1-2 pitch to Davallon misses below the knees as the count is even at 2-2 to the lefty. Big shift on for Davallon here. McGee playing shortstop, and the shortstop, Wahiva Aloy, shaded up the middle as the 2-2 pitch fouled straight back into the netting behind home plate. Taking a look at the Red Sox defense. Starting in left field, Cameron Kim. In center field, Jonathan Kim. In right field, Jackson Chiarello. From third to first, it's Cade McGee, Wahiva Aloy, Phoenix Call, and Ethan Petrie. Catching tonight is Brady Neal, and on the mound is Sean Youngerman. Youngerman's 2-2 pitch looked at for strike 3 as Davallon goes down on strikes to begin the ballgame.
Well, that's exactly what Youngerman was able to capitalize the last time he was out against the Kettleers. 5 strikeouts in those 3 1/3 innings pitched. Had a great start to the game as well. Retired the first 7 batters he faced. And now 1 up, 1 down against Davallon here today.
Now that brings up the third baseman, Nolan Naraki. Naraki's gotten off to an excellent start so far this summer as he takes the first pitch outside for ball number 1. Naraki comes into this at-bat hitting .368. It's really been a spark plug at the top of this Kettleer lineup. Youngerman comes set, kicks and deals, fouled straight back into the netting behind home plate. Yesterday, Naraki laid down a bunt that was fielded by the third baseman, Dylan Carey, and that ball was in and out of the glove of the second baseman, Jackson Willits, and that allowed the floodgates to come around as Kian Vu, Jaron Advincula came around to score, and that's what gave the Cats the lead. It was 3-2 at that point as Naraki takes the next pitch low in the dirt. Count is 2-1. But Naraki doing it with some small ball, flashing the power this year, really dominating all facets as he swings at a pitch below the knees as count is even at 2-2. Here with 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, it was that Vincula's bunt hit that he was able to get on base upon, and then another bunt down the third base line by Naraki, and then after the throw got away from first, the second baseman who was covering first base for Falmouth, it all fell apart from there.
The 2-2 pitch foul tipped into the glove of Neal and held on for the third strike. So back-to-back strikeouts to begin the ballgame for Sean Youngerman, and that is 2 quick outs and brings up the left-handed hitting first baseman, Tanner Thatch.
That just had a good go of it his last 5 games, riding a 5-game on-base streak. After a rough start to his season, has really turned things around. That batting average still beneath 200, but some promising at-bats these past couple games from Thatch.
Thatch takes the first pitch low for ball number 1, and mentioned some promising at-bats at a go-ahead 3-run home run just a couple of games ago, and he's definitely put a lot of better swings on the ball. As the 1-0 pitch misses low, as Thatch up in the count 2-0 here. Big shift on the infield is the third baseman, Cade McGee, playing at that shortstop position. The shortstop, Wahiva Aloy, shaded up the middle. As the 2-0 to Thatch, looked at for strike number 1. That catches the lower part of the zone. Youngerman out of the stretch, comes set at the belt. Now kicks and deals the 2-1 pitch. That one misses low and outside as Thatch takes, and now is up in the count 3-1.
Yeah, Thatch with a walk last night as well. His 5th on the team, now tied for the team lead, and able to see it really well.
Thatch went 1 for 3 last night against the Commodores. Singled and came around to score. Now hits this one on the ground. Diving, making the slide is the second baseman call, but his throw goes off the glove of Ethan Petrie, so Tanner Thatch will reach. A nice play by Call to make the stop, but his throw just off the mark, and Thatch reaches to keep the inning alive with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice job by Tanner Thatch to beat the shift. Rolls it over to second, and a nice sliding grab from Phoenix Call. But the throw slightly pulls the first baseman, Petrie, up the line. And it looked like he was a bit hesitant to reach out with his left arm there to kind of maybe try to stretch out and make a play on that, as he maybe thought Thatch was running up the first base line, but nonetheless kind of short-armed by Petrie. And Tanner Thatch is on first with 2 gone here in the first for the Kettleers.
So now that brings up Brandon Compton. We'll score that an error, as Compton, a left-handed swinger, misses the first pitch from Youngerman. Thatch leads off first. Youngerman takes a long look in, now gets a sign from Neal. Takes a look back at Thatch, now comes set the 0-1 pitch. Called strike 2 at the letters, as Compton quickly down on the count 0-2. Youngerman looking to get out of this inning after the error. Comes set the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sean Youngerman strikes out Charles Davlin, Nolan Naraki, and Brandon Compton as he strands Tanner Thatch on first base after the error, and we head to the bottom of the first, tied at 0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Merritt Beaker getting the ball for the Cotuit Kettleers here in the bottom of the first, and we'll quickly take a look at the YD lineup. Leading things off is the second baseman, Phoenix Call. Batting behind him is the shortstop, Wahiva Aloy. Easton Carmichael batting third and the designated hitter today. Batting in the cleanup spot and playing first base, Ethan Petrie. Playing right field and batting fifth, Jackson Chirello. In the sixth hole and playing third, Cade McGee. Batting seventh and behind the plate, Brady Neal. Playing in left field, Cameron Kim. He bats eighth, and rounding out this YD order is the center fielder, Jonathan Kim. And Joe, this is the first start of the year for Merritt Beaker, but in his 2 appearances before this start, really excellent work.
Yeah, he's been stellar across his first 2 appearances. A guy who's coming off an incredible campaign this past season at Ball State, where he struck out over 120 batters and over 80 innings pitched, and has clearly translated that high strikeout rate into the Cape League.
Beaker working out of the windup, his first pitch to call. Taken high for ball number 1. Call the right-handed swinging second baseman today. Coming off a year at UCLA where he hit .222 and 27 at-bats. His account is even at 1-1 after call. Takes a strike. Had just 27 at-bats, though. Did double. Beaker comes set, the 1-1 pitch. This one popped high down the first base line, and that goes into the stands behind us as call is down to the count 1-2.
Yeah, getting ahead in the count, something that Beaker does really well. And we're seeing it right here in the first at-bat of the game for YD.
Beaker, his 1-2 pitch to call. Spoiled again, popped high and foul, back behind home plate. Large crowd on hand. Fans behind home plate and all down the first and third base lines. Bleachers on either side. As the 1-2 pitch again to call. Fouled straight back as 3 straight foul balls from Phoenix Call has this at-bat still alive. Call so far this summer hitting .258. Beaker comes set and deals the 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner, taken for ball 2. So a tough take from Call there. Moves the count even to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the first. Beaker comes set, his 2-2 pitch. This one hit in the air to center field. Getting underneath it is Charles Davelin, makes the grab for out number 1. So a long at-bat results in a long flyout for Call. That brings up Wahiva Aloy.
Yeah, it's a good at-bat to start off the game for Phoenix Call against Merritt Beaker for the first time. Beaker throwing a fastball, slider, and changeup. Shallow center field at Red Wilson Field here. Relatively deep to the corners, but that one taken pretty far back, but normally a medium depth fly ball in most Cape League ballparks.
Aloy looks at the first pitch from Beaker for strike number 1. Beaker comes set and deals the 0-1 pitch. Big cut, but tipped into the glove of the catcher, Jay, as Aloy is quickly down on the count 0-2 here. Aloy hitting at an even .300 to begin his summer. As the 0-2 pitch kicked and dealt from Beaker. This one hit in the air. Tracking it is Davelin once again, hit deep into center field, but Davelin will make the grab. So back-to-back flyouts to center field. As quickly, YD has 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, another long fly ball into left center. And YD getting pretty close to a pair of home runs here in this first inning, but the wind, tough to tell if it's pushing the ball out or keeping the ball in, but it's definitely swirling around here in Red Wilson Field at Dennis Yarmouth High School.
Easton Carmichael digs in, takes a first pitch hack, and fouls it straight back. Make a good point about center field. Definitely a shallow center field here, and saw a couple of long fly balls to deep center field last night, especially off the bat of Tyler Cerny, who's due up to begin the top of the second for the Kettleers as Carmichael swings, fouls it off of his front foot. He's down to the count 0-2. See how that factors in tonight's game. Beaker looking for the 1-2-3 bottom of the first here after 2 flyouts to center field to begin his outing. The 0-2 pitch, called strike 3. Easton Carmichael goes down on strikes as Merritt Beaker works a 1-2-3 bottom of the first, and we head to the top of the second with the score tied at 0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Top of the second here, and leading things off for the Kettleers is the shortstop Tyler Cerny. Cerny's been swinging a hot bat, but did not record a hit last night at 2 really long fly balls, and despite not getting a hit and working an 0-for-4 performance, a really solid day at the plate as he takes the first pitch strike in there from Sean Youngerman, who's back out for his second inning of work. Cerny saw 15 pitches in his first 2 plate appearances and then hit 2 long fly balls as he grounds us down the third base line. Fielded, the throw is high, not in time, as Cade McGee's throw takes Ethan Petrie off the bag as Tyler Cerny reaches. So Cerny stands on first base, and that brings up Chris Arroyo.
Yeah, frustrating day yesterday for Cerny. Hit 3 really long fly balls in a deep center field, a couple of them, and then one to deep left field that looked like a home run off the bat, but unfortunately was held up in the wind. So an 0-for-4 day yesterday, but a loud 0-for-4 for Cerny. Nice to see him already get on base and waste no time today to get that first base knock.
That was ruled an error by the third baseman, Cade McGee, so the second error today by Y.D. Phoenix Cole made an error that allowed Tanner Thatch to reach back in the top of the first as Chris Arroyo takes the first pitch high and outside for ball number 1. Youngerman's 1-0 pitch. Foul tip straight in the glove of Neal. His count is even at 1-1. Arroyo still looking for his first hit of the summer. Has only had 3 at-bats. Has struck out twice. As a pickoff move, Tyler Cerny's back in standing. Cerny active on the base pass. Always a player that you have to keep an eye out on, so Youngerman checks over on him. Now comes set at the belt, another pickoff move, but
Stolen bases so far this year for Cerny. 6 for 8 this past season.
the swing, but held back. So he's up in the count 2-0. This past year at Pasco Hernando State, say excellent hitter, hit .403 with 19 home runs in 44 games, and he hits this one deep into center field, and that is well out of here. Jonathan Kim looked up, but that ball was blasted off the bat of Chris Arroyo. He knew it at the moment that ball left the bat. An excellent bat flip from Arroyo there, and with one swing, the Kettleers jump out to a 2-0 lead.
352 to center field, and Chris Arroyo got all of that ball. He knew it right off the bat. Like you mentioned, halfway up that first base line, a big bat flip for Arroyo, who entered that at-bat 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts on the season. Another guy who has had to be patient, wait for his shot, and boy, has he made a difference early on in this game.
Just talking about his home run power, hit 19 home runs in his collegiate season and blasts his first as a Kettleer. That ball was crushed to deep center field as Grant Che swings at the first pitch from Youngerman. He's down on the count 0-1. The first hit of the day for the Kettleers brings in 2 runs as Jay now steps out, ditches the arm guard.
Yeah, it looked like on that first swing, it just came loose. He just decides to fling it towards the on-deck circle just in front of us.
The 0-1 pitch taken high as Jay had to duck out of the way of that pitch.
Well, now if we remember what happened the last time these two faced each other, Grant Jay with a 2-run homer or 3-run homer to deep left at Lowell Park.
Jay swings at the 1-1 pitch and misses it. So the count is 1-2 here from Youngerman to Jay. Arroyo's home run, 102 off the bat, and it went 408 miles an hour as Youngerman elevates a fastball as Jay fans on it, and he is set down for the first out of the inning. The 4th strikeout of the day for Youngerman. That brings up Reese Holbrook.
Yeah, so last time Youngerman was out, gave up those 3 earned runs, as you mentioned, 5 hits. And all 3 of those runs coming home off of one big swing from Grant Jay. The Kettleers were able to string a couple of singles together on him about after 3 innings, but clearly have the scouting report on him this time around. They're getting to him in this inning.
Reese Holbrook lays out a button that goes foul down the third base line in his first at-bat this summer. Did not appear in a game at UNC this past campaign. But during his 2023 season, played in 27 games and hit .207. He made 7 starts. The 0-1 to Holbrook, the lefty, takes low in the dirt. The count is even at 1-1. So the home run balls have been costly to Youngerman. He's down on the count 1-2. Youngerman came into this game with an 8.10 ERA. It's the 1-2 pitch taken high by Holbrook. This is something we've seen from Youngerman attacking this Kettleer lineup up in the zone.
Yeah, trying to mix up the eye levels against a guy in Reese Holbrook who hasn't had too many looks in a live game in recent months, so it should be interesting to see him back in game action.
Next offering taken high and outside. So the count runs full here with 1 out in the inning. Kettleers lead 2-0 after the 2-run bomb from Chris Arroyo. Youngerman out of the stretch, a long look in. He kicks and deals a 3-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Youngerman went with the fastball again for the second out of the inning, his 5th strikeout, and every Kettleer who's been retired so far has gone down via the strikeout.
This is similar to the last time that Youngerman faced this Kettleers lineup. Unfortunately, his infield hasn't been giving him too many favors, 2 errors on the board, and then the one big swing from Chris Arroyo. Other than that, has been blowing it by these Kettleers batters, 5 strikeouts.
Now that brings up the lefty Jaron Advincula. Advincula starting at second today, takes the first pitch high and outside for ball number 1.
It's pretty similar to the last time Youngerman started against the Kettleers, his only other start this summer. Retired the first 7 batters of the game with 4 strikeouts and then allowed 2 singles at the bottom of the Kettleers lineup, one of them being against Jaron Advincula.
The 1-0 pitch fouled straight back on the high fastball. Advincula looked frustrated on the swing there. He expanded his zone with the fastball at the top of the strike zone. Advincula coming off a 2-for-3 performance last night where he doubled and singled as Youngerman comes set, kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch. That one runs too far high and in tight as Advincula has to back out of the way. So the count moves to 2-1. Straight up defense for Y.D. as the 2-1 pitch misses well outside as Youngerman's falling behind in the count 3-1. Advincula looking to keep this inning alive after back-to-back strikeouts from Grant Jay and Reese Holbrook. The 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2 as Advincula watches it cross the strike zone, as now the count runs full here with 2 outs in the inning.
Good at-bat worked here by Advincula. We've seen him chase out of the zone to get a few pitches. Hopefully he's able to keep a good eye on it.
The 3-2 pitch spoiled as Advincula fouls it straight back into the netting behind home plate.
And that was a pitch he could hit. Lower in the zone, gets a piece and fouls it straight back, able to stay alive. Been really aggressive at the plate. It's a big reason as to why he's been in the lineup in 6 straight games, now 7.
The 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Advincula lays off on the breaking ball in the dirt, so he works a walk. As there's some confusion on the play, Brady Neal thought that was strike 3. He threw down to first, but it was signaled as a walk, so Advincula keeps the inning alive. A couple of Y.D infielders thought that was strike 3 too. Saw Wahiva Aloy wander over to the dugout. But Advincula works the 2-out walk, and now we head back to the top of the Cotuit order with Charles Davelin. First walk of the day issued by Youngerman as Davelin takes high and outside for ball number 1. 43 pitches so far for Sean Youngerman in an inning and 2/3. Has struck out 5, but allowed the 2 runs on the 2-run bomb from Chris Arroyo. Pickoff move, Advincula back in standing. The ball gets away from Petrie, but Advincula will stay put at first.
Yeah, and Advincula with kind of an awkward half slide back to the bag there, tried to just put his right foot on it and take a big long step from a couple feet off the bag, and then hit the left side of the rubber of that bag really hard, and I think it kind of shook him up on his back hip there. So he will take an extra second to walk it off, and now a mound visit from the pitching coach of Y.D. is going to go out and talk with Youngerman along with the catcher Brady Neal. And it appears he may be having trouble with something now. They're looking at his throwing hand, his fingertips on that right hand. One of the members of the training staff for the Red Sox is going to come out and take a look. So a lot going on in just that one small pickoff play to first, Alex, but just hope everyone's okay here and we can continue this top of the second.
So Youngerman getting what appears to be his finger looked at. Advincula stretching out his leg over at first. Appears to be okay, but now the concern shifts to Youngerman out on the mound, but he appears to be okay as the trainer and pitching coach head off the mound as baseball set to resume momentarily. Davelin today 0 for 1. Strikeout looking to begin the ballgame, 1 of 5 strikeouts for Sean Youngerman. 1-0 is the count here. Youngerman taking a long look in. Shakes off his catcher, now comes set at the belt. Advincula leads off first, the 1-0 pitch. Off speed that misses too far inside as Davelin lays off. The count is 2-0. The 2-0 pitch, this one hit on the ground to Petrie, goes into a dive, fields it cleanly, and takes it to the bag himself. So a pretty play. Scored a 3 unassisted to end the top of the second, but not before Chris Arroyo blasts his first home run of the summer and gives the Kettleers a 2-0 lead. Stay tuned for more here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk.
Bottom of the second. Alex Rocco joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Adele Huffman to it as a 2-0 lead after the 2-run home run from Chris Arroyo as Merritt Beaker returns to the mound for inning number 2. Beaker worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the first that saw 2 flyouts to Charles Davallon in center and a strikeout looking of Easton Carmichael. Now it's Ethan Petrie who digs in for his first at-bat of the summer. Takes high and outside for ball number 1. Beaker deals a 1-0 pitch called strike 1 on the inside corner as Petrie was looking. Beaker working out of the windup here. Kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch, off-speed pitch that fools Petrie as a half-hearted swing as he's now down in the count 1-2. Petrie this past year at South Carolina hit .306 in 61 games, blasted 21 home runs, and he hits this one up the middle, a rocket that nearly deflects off the second base bag, but that goes into center field. So it's the first hit of the ball game for YD as Petrie's on with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the second.
First hit of the summer for Ethan Petrie nearly hits Merritt Beaker on the way to center field. Luckily, Beaker able to get out of the way of that one. And a leadoff single for YD, just what they needed after Cotuit put up 2 in the top half of this inning.
Now that brings up the left-handed hitting and right fielder Jackson Chiarello. Pitch in the dirt blocked by the catcher Jay as Chiarello goes around on the swing, so he's down on the count 0-1. Petrie stays put at first. Chiarello this past year at Kennesaw State hit .290, also hit 2 home runs and 12 doubles. Lefty on lefty matchup here as this one's grounded on the ground to the second baseman at Vincula. The throw to Cerny, his relay throw not in time as Chiarello legs it out. But Petrie is cut down at second, so that is 1 out in the inning and brings up the third baseman, Cade McGee.
Advincula was playing a bit closer to the bag at second, so not deeper into that hole where he normally would have been. They were trying to play at second. That's usually an automatic play as an umpire to call an out, but I think that one could have been close to being safe for Petrie running up that second base line.
Swinging at the first pitch is the third baseman, Cade McGee. Fouls that out of play. A couple of young kids chase after that ball. Nice souvenir.
Yeah, plenty of foul ground here to do it. Big fields down either baseline.
And especially behind home plate, a large backstop. Really nice with the brick background.
Yeah, it's brand new here at Red Wilson Field.
0-1 to McGee outside, taken for ball number 1.
Used to all be fencing around here, and now they've extended a netting high above the backstop and all the way down to pretty far beyond the first base line, outside of the infield, surely on either side.
A 1-1 taken for ball 2 as that pitch just ran high and in tight on the right-handed hitting Cade McGee. Really nice looking field here. Fans have definitely come out to support YD, who has jumped out to a 7-2 record to begin the year as this pitch low and in the dirt gets away from the catcher Jay down the first base line, and that allows Chiarello to move up to second, and now he stands in scoring position with 1 out in the inning.
Had a lot of scouts at these past 2 games too, Alex. Last night's game at Lowell Park, today in YD, a lot of scouts standing behind home plate. I think probably a good reason for that. Less games in the CCBL this year, so less ballparks for them to go to. Not every team in action today.
As McGee lays off on the 3-1 pitch as that catches a strike zone. The count runs full here In the bottom of the second, Cotuit still leads 2-0 as Chirello leads off second. He reached on a fielder's choice, getting held on by Jaron Advincula. Beeker, the 3-2 pitch, taken for ball 4 as he could not control that pitch on the low and inside corner. So McGee, he walks, and now it's runners on a first and second with 1 out in the inning. It's the first walk of the day, surrendered by Merritt Beeker. Now that brings up the catcher, Brady Neal.
Yeah, if there's one blemish in this 5-game win streak for the Kettleers, it's the walks. They've been trying to lower that walk number, but it's still the 7th and 3rd most in the league, 7th fewest in the league.
Lefty-lefty matchup between Neal and Beeker as Beeker's first pitch misses high in tight for ball number 1. 26 pitches so far for the lefty, 18 strikes. Takes a look back at Chirello, who's being held on by Tyler Cerny. This one hit on the ground to Thatch. He goes to second for 1. Cerny's relay throw not in time as the throw goes back to third as Naraki steps off the bag, but Chirello slides in safely. So there's 2 outs in the inning with a runner on the corners and brings up the 8-hole hitter Cameron Kim.
Well, we saw a few mistakes in the field last night from Falmouth where they tried to force a few throws when the bag wasn't being covered. And right there, Tanner Thatch pulled way off the bag at first, so he's unable to receive the second half of that double play ball. Merritt Beeker couldn't get to the bag in time, so wisely Cerny just eats it, and they'll have runners on the corners with 1 out to get, and Cameron Kim, the lone man in the way.
Beeker with a pickoff move, but Brady Neal back in standing. So Beeker in a bit of trouble here with runners on the corners with 2 outs after working the 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Y.D still with 1 hit as the first pitch to Kim taken high for ball number 1. Kim getting the start in left field today. Right-handed batter hitting just .227 so far this summer. Beeker comes set, kicks and deals the 1-0 pitch. This one popped high and foul, back behind home plate.
Turn on one of those double steal plays with runners on the corners, but Beeker just having to focus on the batter here with 2 strikes.
Beeker's 1-2 pitch. This one grounded down the third baseline, but well foul. Naraki was standing close to the line. That one goes well foul. So Kim will see another pitch here. Beeker set at the belt. Kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. This one chopped right back to him, fielded cleanly as Beeker runs over to Tanner Thatch at first base, makes the underhand flip, and Cameron Kim is set down for the 3rd out of the inning as Beeker strands runners on the corners. As Cotuit still leads 2-0, and now we'll bring on our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman. Adele, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I just want to talk about Merritt Beeker for a little bit, allowing no runs so far in the first 2 innings, doing a great job, coming all the way from Ball State, originally from Winston-Salem. At Ball State this past year, he was top 10 in the NCAA D1 strikeouts and strikeouts per 9 innings, with a 9-3 record this past year. In previous summers, he's played in the Kyle Ripken League and last year in the Coastal Plain League. But when I talked to him before the season started, he said that one of his biggest dreams was to play in the Cape Cod League, and it was on his bucket list. So it's great to have him here this summer, and he's been just as good of a teammate off the field as he has been on. Great guy. And a fun fact is he's learning how to play the guitar right now, specifically Pink Floyd. So he's doing big things on the field as well as off the field.
It's always good to see, and for Merritt living out his dream, playing on Cape Cod, and always like to see him picking up new hobbies and keep his mind focused on something that is other than baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a guy who has made a massive impact on this team, but made an immediate impact on his team at Ball State this past year, and also a guy who kind of had to wait around, be patient. I know we've talked about that a lot these past few days, but I think patience can definitely be a virtue that a lot of pitchers may have, and you think that would probably be a good thing to have when you're trying to learn guitar too, don't you think?
I definitely think so. I've tried to learn guitar myself, and it's a hard
Didn't go
task.
well.
Didn't go very well. Gave up. Yep. So hopefully Merritt has better luck.
I've never tried playing guitar, but could not be an easy task. Joe, how about you?
Guitar Hero only.
Hey, that's practice.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere. It's 2-3-4 here in the top of the third. Thanks, Adele, so much for info on Merritt Beaker. Beaker started out strong through 2 innings, but this brings up Nolan Naraki, who swings at the first pitch, pops this one high back behind home plate, and that touches down foul, well out of play. So Naraki down on the count 0-1. He's 0 for 1 on the ball game, struck out swinging back in the top of the first against Sean Youngerman, who's back out on the mound after running into some trouble last inning, giving up the 2-run home run to Chris Arroyo. The 0-1 pitch looked at for strike number 2 as Naraki's quickly down on the count here. Youngerman comes set at the belt, kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch, misses well off the plate as Naraki moves the count to 1-2 here. This past year, Youngerman at Westmont College went 8-1 with a 3.71 ERA, struck out 69 batters in 70 innings. As he gets his 6th strikeout of the ball game here, as Naraki tips it straight into the glove of the catcher Neal, as he's set down on strikes for the 2nd time today. That brings up Tanner Thatch.
Yeah, now in just over 5 innings against the Kettleers, Youngerman with over 10 strikeouts. That one tipping into the glove of Brady Neal. And he's had Nolan Naraki's number so far today. 2 quick strikeouts. Tanner Thatch digs in, was able to reach last time on an error. And that has really been the only 2 mistakes on the board for YD. And it has led to at least 1 unearned run.
Thatch with a big cut on the first pitch from Youngerman, but missed it as clouds now starting to form overhead here at Red Wilson Field. As the 0-1 pitch from Youngerman taken outside, his count is even at 1-1 here. But we saw that strikeout really come into play in Youngerman's outing against Western Oregon this past year. Struck out 11 batters in 6 innings, only on 80 pitches, but Thatch gets a pitch he can handle here, and this one is well out of here. Tanner Thatch deposited it well over the wall as it is the 2nd home run for the Kettleers on the ball game as they take a 3-0 lead on the 2nd home run of the season for Tanner Thatch.
And that's his 2nd home run in his last 13 plate appearances. Tanner Thatch clearly been seeing it well after an 0 for 9 start to the season. And that one just obliterated to straightaway center field. Of course, we mentioned only 352 to straightaway center here at Red Wilson Field, but Tanner Thatch getting all of that one, and likely a home run in plenty of CCBL ballparks, puts the Kettleers up 3-0.
I don't think there are many ballparks on the Cape that can handle that home run as it travels 418 feet, 101 miles an hour off the bat. So an absolute missile for Tanner Thatch as Cotuit now leads 3-0. Brandon Compton, he's quickly down on the count 0-2 as his last pitch, foul tip straight in the glove of Brady Neal.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that that is a home run in 10 out of 10. And most college parks, too.
Youngerman's 0-2 pitch taken high and outside.
I think 9 and 10. Orleans is 435 to deep center. But still.
Moral of the story is that ball was
It was
absolutely crushed. The 1-2 to Compton, protective swing, fouls it straight back into the netting behind home plate, so he stays alive with the count at 1-2. Once again, it's the home run ball that has gotten to Sean Youngerman, the 3rd home run allowed this year against this Kettleer lineup. Grant Jay hit one, Chris Arroyo hit one, and now Tanner Thatch has hit one. Next pitch to Compton. Compton gets a handle of this one, drilled into center field, but right at Jonathan Kim, as he just has to back up a couple of steps for allowed out number 2.
Yeah, Kim was leaning up on the fence in dead center as he received that one, and Brandon Compton puts it about halfway up the fence and was nearly able to get the first back-to-back home run efforts by the Kettleers this season, but that will have to wait. And there are two gone as Youngerman is close to escaping this next inning. It's really been just a pair of really hard hit balls that have gotten to him and been the difference so far.
Cotuit just with 2 hits, but both have left the yard as the first pitch to Tyler Cerny taken around the knees for strike number 1. Cerny 0 for 1, but reached in his first plate appearance. Reached on an error made by the third baseman, Cade McGee, as the 0-1 pitch swung on and missed by Cerny as he's quickly down on the count 0-2 here. But it was Cerny who got on, and just one at-bat later, Chris Arroyo made it 2-0. Arroyo stands in the on-deck circle here. As Youngerman comes set, kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. Hit right back to him, deflects off of his glove. Tried to pick it up with his glove, but unable to do so as Cerny reaches and keeps the inning alive. Not sure how they will rule that play, and it is an error on Youngerman. So Cerny's reached twice, both on errors, and now that brings up the lefty, Chris Arroyo.
Yeah, he'll take it any way he can. That one just booted by the pitcher Youngerman. Looked like he was able to get a glove on it, but then racing to his left, picked the glove up too early and just rolled over the top of it, was unable to have a play even close to getting Cerny at first, and so the inning will continue, this time on the mistake of the pitcher Youngerman.
The third error of the day committed by the Red Sox defense. As Cerny takes his lead off first, Youngerman with a pickoff move, but Cerny's back in standing. Arroyo 1 for 1 with the 2-run home run as he takes a big cut there, but misses. His count now moves to 0-1. Arroyo digging into that left-handed batter's box. Bat above his shoulder here. The 0-1 pitch popped up high in the air. Getting underneath it is the third baseman, Cade McGee, and he will make the grab for the third out of the inning. However, Tanner Thatch makes it a 3-0 ball game on his second home run of the year as we head to the bottom half of the inning with the Kettleers leading 3-0. Stay tuned for more here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
Wind's starting to pick up here at Red Wilson Field as the Kettleers have a 3-0 lead as sun was out for a moment, but that is went back beneath the clouds. So it's starting to get dark here. No rain projected in the forecast. Just 76 degrees and windy so far.
Yeah, you never know what can happen, but the skies are getting darker. I think it's definitely more of a, if we're able to get this game underway and moving a bit quicker to get it done before the sun sets just after 8 p.m., rather than if rain is going to start falling, as the clouds are light, but they're thick.
Lefty-lefty matchup to begin this bottom of the third as Jonathan Kim swings at the first pitch from Merritt Beaker. Beaker worked a 1-2-3 bottom of the first, but ran into a bit of trouble, but stranded runners on the corners in the bottom of the second as Kim flares this one into left field. Running and making the grab is Brandon Compton for out number 1. So Jonathan Kim set down on 2 pitches as we head to the top of the Y.D. order with the second baseman, Phoenix Call.
Yeah, nice job there from Beaker. Lefty on lefty matchup, throwing inside, jamming Jonathan Kim. Tries to fight it off the other way, but a solid test for Brandon Compton for the first time. Overran it a little bit, had to leap up and make the grab.
The first pitch to call taken for strike number 1. Call flew out to center to begin his night, so he's 0 for 1. The right-handed hitting second baseman. The 0-1 pitch drilled straight back off the top of the net and bounces in foul territory. So Call quickly down on the count 0-2 against Beeker. Beeker's done a good job getting ahead of hitters so far. He's thrown 36 pitches and 2 1/3 innings pitched, 27 strikes as the 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Phoenix Call goes down on strikes as Merritt Beeker records his second strikeout looking of the ball game. So now that's 2 outs in the inning and brings up Wahiva Aloy.
Yeah, it goes back to the fastball, dots it on the inside corner, locks Phoenix Call at the knees. Nothing he can do with that, and he falls back to 0 for 2.
Pretty pitch from Beeker there, and as he's working quickly, starts out Wahiva Aloy, the fastball off the plate. Aloy, 0 for 1, also flew out to center field. As he takes a big cut out of this, hits it high and well fouled down the first base line, And another race for that foul ball. So the count is even at 1-1. Beeker out of the windup kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch. That one misses low. As Wahiva takes it for ball 2. Aloy hit .270 this past year at Arkansas. Grounds this hard to the third baseman Naraki. Fields it cleanly. His throw is in time to first as Aloy is set down for the third out of the inning. So the second 1-2-3 inning of the ballgame for Merritt Beeker as we head to the top of the 4th with Cotuit still leading by 3. Stay tuned for more here on the Kettleers Radio Network. RCA Electric and Generators install and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. 7, 8, and 9 due up here in the top of the 4th as Grant J set to lead things off for his second at-bat of the day against the starter Sean Youngerman, who's back out on the mound. 62 pitches for Youngerman so far, has struck out 6, but has surrendered the 3 runs and starts out J with a first pitch fastball at the knees taken for strike 1. Cotuit 6-3 so far on the young season. YD 7-2. YD in first place in the East Division, Cotuit in second in the West as Jay lays off on the next pitch as that one misses. The count is even at 1-1 here. But Joe, part of this start to the year for Cotuit, a 3-1 record on the road as Jay hits this one high in the air. Getting underneath it is the catcher Brady Neal, but he will run out of room. Actually making the play is the third baseman Cade McGee right at the YD bench on the third base side as McGee had to contort his body, but makes a really nice play for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, there's one Red Sox player sitting on a buck for him and bring that one back into play for the first out of the inning. Really nice job to track that down, stay composed, keep a good eye on that ball, especially with the gray skies overhead, not the easiest thing to track up there. Needless to say, this wind. But a great play at third.
You saw McGee battle with the wind earlier in this game, let a pop fly fall in foul territory, but this time does a good job of tracking it the entire way and making a really nice grab for the first out of the inning. And now that brings up Reese Holbrook, who's up in the count 1-0 at the letters for ball 2. So going back to this point about the Kettleers on the road, a 3-1 runs too far inside to the lefty. Davlin last night got his first hit, first home run of the summer. That gave Cotuit a 4-2 advantage as Advincula, big cut, pops this one high and foul down the third base line. So the count is even at 1-1 here. I think part of what contributes to those road numbers, Joe, for the Kettleers, that 18-4 victory on the road against Harwich, where it was 3 innings. You saw Cotuit put up a couple of 5 spots, an 8 spot in that game. So the offense really coming alive here. It's done so far. They have 3 runs on 3 hits. Youngerman's 1-1 pitch. Advincula has to duck out of the way, just runs way too high and inside.
Advincula now 1 for 1 with a walk against Sean Youngerman, has seen him well. And one of the many Kettleers batters who has demolished right-handed pitching early on this season.
Advincula's hitting .375 now, drops down a bunt, fielded off the mound by Youngerman. His throw in time to nab Advincula. Moving up to second is Reese Holbrook. So he's in scoring position with 2 outs in the inning as we head back to the top of the Cotuit order with Charles Davlin.
Still a quality at bat there from Jaron Advincula. Perfect bunt right in front of home plate. Reese Holbrook can easily advance to second. And now Charles Davlin to an opportunity here to try to pick up his second run driven in on the summer.
0 for 2 on the ball game. As Holbrook getting held on by the shortstop, Aloy. Davlin takes the first pitch low and outside for ball number 1. Third baseman Cade McGee shaded well off the line as Aloy up the middle. The second baseman Call standing just right on the lip of the dirt and the outfield as Davlin takes the next pitch low, so he's up in the count 2-0 here. Davlin this past year hit .290 at Florida Gulf Coast. Served as the team's leadoff hitter and hitting leadoff tonight as he hits a charge into this one deep into right field. Looking at it is Jackson Terrell. This one hits off the base of the wall. Davlin heads for second as Reese Holbrook comes in to score. So it's an RBI double for Charles Davlin, and the Kettleers take a 4-0 lead here in the top of the 4th.
That was a shot down the right field line and deep from Charles Davlin, flirting with his second home run of the summer, but he'll take his second extra base hit of the summer, and it scores the 4th run of the game for the Kettleers. So how about this start for Davlin now? 2 for 5, a home run, a double, and 2 driven in.
So now this brings up Nolan Araki. Kettleers' 4th hit of the ball game goes for extra bases. And 3 of their 4 hits gone for extra base hits so far. 2 home runs and the double. As Naraki takes the first pitch in there for strike number 1. Naraki 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts, both swinging. Youngerman looking to get out of this inning, only surrendering the 1 run, as Cotuit has scored in 3 consecutive innings. The 0-1 pitch taken inside for ball number 1. That evens the count at 1-1. Youngerman comes set, takes a long look in. Pitch clock reads 5. Now he delivers at 4. As Naraki chops this one foul right at the Y.D dugout on the third base line. His count is 1-2 here with 2 outs in the inning.
Right-handed arm warming up in the Y.D bullpen down the left field line. See if Youngerman can get out of this inning. 1-2 the count on Naraki.
Youngerman comes set at the belt, Kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Naraki spoils it, hits it down the first base line, and foul. Right toward the concession stand. And Joe, an underrated play in this inning. The sacrifice bunt by Jaron Advincula getting Reese Holbrook into scoring position at second.
Yeah, to perfectly set up Charles Davalon's double down the right field line. So good point that you bring up there.
The 1-2 pitch runs in on the hands of Naraki, deflects off the bat. Naraki drops the bat instantly, and he's in a bit of pain. Appears to be okay, shaking off that front hand.
The Kettleers dugout can't really believe it. Umpire will call time. Naraki not arguing the call at all, so he will dig back in with the count still 1-2. And that'll go down as a foul ball. Surely didn't have the sound of a foul ball, but tough to tell from here.
The 6th pitch of the at-bat upcoming to Naraki as Youngerman elevates the fastball, and Naraki goes down on strikes for the 3rd time today, but not before Cotuit tacks on another run as they now lead 4-0 after the RBI double from Charles Davalon as we head to the bottom half of the inning here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirt. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Middle of the order due up here in the bottom of the 4th as Easton Carmichael set to dig in for his 2nd at-bat of the day, still facing the Cotuit starter, Merritt Beaker. Beaker so far today been dominant. He's thrown 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit. He's yet to allow a run, has walked 1 and struck out 2, and has tossed 41 pitches so far. 30 have been strikes. First pitch to Carmichael, taken outside for ball number 1. Carmichael 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. That capped off a 1-2-3 bottom of the 1st. The righty is a potent hitter in the middle of this Y.D. order as Beaker paints the inside corner. Carmichael disagrees with the call, shakes his head, but the count now is even at 1-1. Carmichael hitting .379 so far this summer as Beaker once again misses high and outside. This count now goes to 2-1. Winds beginning to pick up here. Beaker comes set. His 2-1 pitch misses below driver's seat, up now 3-1. This past year at Oklahoma, played in 61 games, hit .366 with 7 home runs and 64 RBIs. Beaker pours in a strike on the 3-1 pitch. Carmichael thought that was ball 4 with an emphatic bat flip. Flipped that right toward the Y.D. dugout on the third base side, but now has to make the walk and pick up his bat as the count is full here to begin the bottom of the 4th. The 3-2 pitch on the inside corner. Got him looking again. Merritt Beaker paints the inside corner as Easton Carmichael goes down on strikes once again, as he's the first out of the inning and the 3rd strikeout of the day for Beaker.
That was even more inside than the one before. Carmichael trying to sell it a little bit by bringing his hips back, but That one rings him up for a called strike 3, the third of the day for Merritt Beaker.
Ethan Petrie attacking on the first pitch, fouls that straight back into the netting, right behind home plate, so he's down on the count 0-1. Singled on his first at-bat of the summer, a rocket up the middle that nearly deflected off of Beaker. Here's the 0-1 pitch taken high, as the count is now even at 1-1. Petrie hits this one in a deep center field. Giving it a look is Charles Davalon. That ball is out of here. Ethan Petrie starts off his Y.D. career with 2 for 2 and blasts his first home run of the summer as the Red Sox cut the deficit to 3 as they now trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the fourth.
Did that 21 times this past season at South Carolina, a big reason as to why he was a D1 baseball preseason first-team All-American. And that one blasted to deep center field. Davalon was tracking it all the way back to the fence, but quickly ran out of room. And YD has now made it a 4-1 ball game.
Now that brings up the lefty Jackson Chirello, who reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat as he takes a pitch for strike number 1. Seeing the power from Petrie as 2 back-to-back strikes looked at from Chirello as he's now down on the count 0-2. Hit 23 home runs his first season at South Carolina and followed that up with 21. So an impressive display of power as 3 pitches, 3 strikes as Jackson Chirello set down on strikes for the first time today, the 4th of the ball game for Merritt Beaker. There's now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, that's exactly the way you want to respond from giving up a home run. Pounding low in the zone on Jackson Chirello. Hitting low and outside with all 3 pitches, the last one being a slider. Dotting it on the low and outside portion, and Jackson Chirello goes down swinging. First swinging K victim of the day, drawn by Merritt Beaker, 4th total.
That home run by Petrie, just the first earned run allowed by Merritt Beaker this year. So snaps his scoreless streak of nearly 10 innings. It's at 9 2/3 innings pitched of scoreless ball, but the home run from Petrie snaps that. 2-0 is the count here on the third baseman, Cade McGee. The righty looks at a pitch right down the middle. The count now at 2-1. McGee hitting 172. Now Beaker misses low as Jay has to glove it, but the count is 3-1 with 2 outs in the inning. McGee coming off a year at Texas Tech, where he hit 282, 15 home runs, 55 RBIs. As he takes a big cut out of this pitch and hits it back into the parking lot. As the count now runs full here with 2 outs in the inning, Cotuit leads 4-1. Beaker out of the windup, peers out of his glove, now kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Got him looking. Beaker painting the fastball on the inside corner as he gets his 3rd strikeout of the inning, the 2nd looking, but does surrender his first run of the season after the solo bomb from Ethan Petrie. So Cotuit leads 4-1, and now we'll bring back Adele Huffman, who has more on the Kettleers.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, Charles Davalon, playing at Florida Gulf Coast this past year, actually from Montreal, Canada, had a great inning scoring that. I'm so sorry. Last inning, having a great inning, but when he was asked about the biggest difference in playing here and in Canada, he said, playing in Canada is different because the playing field here is much higher. In this past year at Florida Gulf Coast, he appeared in 56 games with 56 starts, 38 RBIs, and 10 home runs. And he actually can speak French, Joe.
Great day for Davalon, and not going to lie, I couldn't have guessed on that one.
Montreal, Canada. Couldn't have guessed that one.
But it's been great to see Davalon have a difference and have an impact on this team early on, and a guy who's definitely experienced a lot. I think to be able to play baseball up in Canada and Montreal, but to also go to college down in Florida. He actually attended high school down in Florida too. So he's experienced a lot of different things. And I think that when you've been around a lot of different baseball players, a lot of different personalities, that can only make you better as a person and also as a player. And I think we're being able to see that hopefully continue to transpire throughout the rest of this summer. But it's been great to see his success early on this season.
He's 2 for 5 to begin his Cotuit career. Once again, great stuff, Adele. Those 2 hits, home run, and an RBI double. So 2 RBIs so far for him. As new arm in the game for YD, it's Justin Lee relieving Sean Youngerman. Youngerman today went 4 innings pitched, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, walked 1, struck out 7, but 2 of those 4 hits left the yard. On the home runs by Tanner Thatch and Chris Arroyo, and it is the aforementioned Tanner Thatch digging in for his first at-bat against Justin Lee. Thatch today 1 for 2 with a home run and reached on an error made by the second baseman Phoenix Call, but he hit that ball well as Call went into a slide in his throw. Took the first baseman Petrie well off the bag as Lee starts him out with a first pitch that misses well outside for ball number 1. The 1-0 misses at the top of the strike zone. Good take by Thatch there. The count now moves to 2-0. Justin Lee attends UCLA. It's like several players on this team and lost the handle on the 2-0 pitch. Flew out of his hands, goes straight back to the backstop. So Thatch up in the count 3-0 here for his first AB against Lee. This is Lee's second appearance so far this summer. Kicks and deals. Thatch swinging at 3-0. Takes a massive cut out of that and was well off balance on the 3-0 swing.
Yeah, I was looking to deep right field for a second homer of the game. And might as well. Up 3-0 in the count. Has the green light. Might as well take a big hack at it.
Thatch swings 3-1, pops this one high up in the air, but gets out of play. So from 3-0 to 3-2 we go here in the top of the 5th. The Kettleers have a 4-1 lead over YD between 2 of the top teams here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. YD sitting with a 7-2 record, Cotuit with a 6-3 record. Winners of its last 5 as Thatch works a 5-pitch walk here and reaches for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, just the second walk worked by the Kets so far today, and 6th on the season for Thatch, who, to go along with those home runs, now leads the team in walks with 6 or 7 now. And so for Thatch, being able to make a difference when he's not leaving the yard. So a leadoff man to start off this inning, and something that the Kettleers have done so well is not only putting the leadoff man on, but being able to plate him in the same frame as well.
Brandon Compton swings at the first pitch for strike number 1. Compton today 0 for 2, struck out swing to end the top of the 1st and flew out to center field back in the 3rd. Kettleers were held scoreless in that first inning as this pitch gets away from the catcher. Neal moving up to second is Thatch, but Compton swung at the pitch and that ball just deflected off of the glove of Neal. So the count is now 0-2 with Thatch standing in scoring position.
Kets 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position so far today. And I think they're going to have a meeting with the umpires to decide if Brandon Compton made contact with that ball. It's likely that he did not, and the play will stand. Tanner Thatch standing at second base. Compton down in the count 0-2. He went down on strikes the last time he was up. We saw him expand his zone yesterday and strike out 1 time. So got to figure out a way to choke up here and swing at pitches that are close.
Compton hitting .226 so far this summer as Lee steps off the rubber Now, back out on the rubber here is Thatch, getting held on by the shortstop Aloy, who shaded right up the middle. Cade McGee well off the line at third base. The 0-2 pitch low in the dirt, but swung at by Brandon Compton. Brady Neal places the tag on him, so Compton set down on strikes for the second time today as he's set down for the first out this inning. Now this brings up Tyler Cerny. Cerny has reached twice, both on errors committed by Cade McGee and the starter Sean Youngerman. This is Lee's third appearance so far this summer, is 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA. As Cerny hits this one in the air on the first pitch. Getting underneath it is the left fielder Cameron Kim, who gloves it for the second out of the inning. Staying put at second is Tanner Thatch. So 2 quick outs brings up Chris Arroyo.
Cerny's put the ball in play in these last few games, despite struggling. Now 0 for 3 on the day, has reached on a pair of errors. But got to appreciate him going down swinging virtually every single time he's at the plate. That time with a healthy hack at a ball that was hit towards left field. Tanner Thatch having to stay put. Unfortunately for him, it draws him back to 0 for 3, but something to work with for Tyler Cerny, and he's putting in good at-bats, making solid contact, even while it's not finding the gaps.
Saw him nearly leave the yard in yesterday's contest as Lee starts out Arroyo with a first pitch fastball that misses high and outside. But Cerny, 3 long fly balls yesterday. Worked deep in accounts. Saw over 20 pitches in his 4 at-bats, including 15 in the first 2 plate appearances. As Lee paints a fastball on the outside corner, looked at for strike number 1 from Arroyo. Arroyo 1 for 2 today with a 2-run home run. Was back in the top of the second and popped up to Cade McGee at third. And that ended the 3rd inning. Cotuit has scored runs in the last 3 innings as Lee's last pitch misses low in the dirt, blocked by the catcher. Arroyo up in the count here, 2-1 with 2 outs in the inning. Thatch led off this inning with a walk, moved up to second on a wild pitch. And Brandon Compton struck out, and Tyler Cerny flew out to left field. The 2-1 pitch from Lee fouled straight back into the netting by Arroyo, and the count is even at 2-2. Arroyo this year at Pasco Hernando State hit .403, blasted 19 home runs, drove in 52 RBIs in 44 games. Lee, a long look home, now comes set at the belt. Kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. That one foul tipped off Arroyo, and the catcher Brady Neal instantly down in pain.
Yeah, fouled off of Brady Neal's right foot, it looks like. His right toes, those knee guards go from on top of the knee all the way to the bridge of your foot, to the top of your foot, but not over your toes, and it looks like that's where he got it. He gives a thumbs up towards Scott Pickler, the manager of Y.D. Has a smile on his face as he shakes it off. Neal never want to get a ball right there, the perfect spot for it to really sting, but not have enough protection, and he will take a much-needed few seconds before this 2-2 pitch.
You saw Neal instantly grimace in pain and tried to shake it off, but he will stay in the ball game here with the count even at 2-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Wind still a factor here at Red Wilson Field. Kettleers lead 4-1. Runner in scoring position as Arroyo looking to drive in his 3rd RBI of the ball game here. Thatch takes his lead off second. The 2-2 pitch from Lee swung on and missed for the 3rd out of the inning. So Justin Lee comes on, surrenders a leadoff walk to Tanner Thatch, but gets out the rest of the Cotuit hitters with a strikeout, a flyout, and a strikeout of Chris Arroyo. And that ends the top of the 5th, and we head to the bottom of the 5th with Cotuit still leading 4-1. And when we come back, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take over on play-by-play duties. So stay tuned for more here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your at Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact
the inside corner to Neal for strike one. So Merritt Beaker is going to try to do something that no Kettleers starter has done yet this season. Pitch 5 innings into a ball game. The 0-1 pitch. So Neal is 0 for 1. He reached on a fielder's choice in the second. That was an inning where Y.D. was able to put some runners on base. Nobody has been on base other than in the second inning for the Red Sox. The next pitch is on the outer half, and this time called to strike 2. 1-2 the count on Neal. And Beaker quickly into his windup. The 1-2 pitch is fouled straight back.
Beaker has worked very efficiently in this game. Pitch count sitting under 70 pitches and really just had made one mistake, and it was the solo home run back last inning to Ethan Petrie.
The 1-2 again. Fly ball left field side. Ranging into foul territory goes Arroyo a couple feet into the chalk, and he'll pull that down. That's actually Brandon Compton playing in left for the Kettleers. He had to scamper a long ways, but the wind brought it back towards the field of play, and Brady Neal retires for the first out in the bottom of the 5th.
Compton had to run a long way to grab that down. We've seen a lot of pop flies being taken by the wind there, as Compton did a good job readjusting and hauling it in for the first out of the inning.
Now here's Cameron Kim. Right-handed batter will shoot one high towards foul territory. Thatch giving chase towards the screen, and he will just barely run out of room as it creeps its way into that road grandstand just beyond the Kettleers dugout on the first base side. Thick overcast clouds overhead at Red Wilson Field, and an 0-1 count on Cameron Kim, who is 0 for 1 today with a ground out on the infield. It was right back to Merritt Beaker. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Beaker. A breaking ball that turns low and inside. Kim didn't quite like the call, but Jeffrey Kinney did, and he calls it a strike 2. So Beaker ahead in the count once more. 0-2 with the red glove at his belt. Now he brings it in front of his face and goes into his windup. The 0-2 pitch inside. Called to strike 3. 6th strikeout of the day for Merritt Beaker. The 5th one looking, and there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
We've really seen Merritt Beaker attack this Red Sox lineup on the inside corner, and he's been getting the call from Jeffrey Kinney, so why deviate from that? It's definitely been working. As 6 strikeouts for Beaker so far.
Goes into his windup and dials in a first pitch breaking ball for a strike 1 on Jonathan Kim, who's 0 for 1. Jam shot fly out by him back in the 3rd inning. Part of a 3-up, 3-down effort from Beaker. The 0-1 pitch showing bunt is Kim, but he pulls it back, and it's 1-1. And that was part of a stretch where Beaker was able to retire 7 of 8 Y.D. Red Sox batters. And that's still a streak that he's continuing. 7 of the last 8 have been retired by Merritt Beaker. And the next pitch showing bunt is Kim. He pulls it back, and it's a called strike 2 on the outer half. Kim also not liking that call. And Beaker once more is ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, infield playing straight up, and the pitch. Fastball cut on and miss, strike 3. The 7th strikeout of the day for Merritt Beaker ends the bottom of the 5th inning. He is stellar through 5 frames, giving up just 1 run on 2 hits, and the Kettleers lead at 4-1 as we go into the top of the 6th inning on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Since 1995, MK Basic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus,
Top of the sixth inning, Grant Jay will lead things off against Justin Lee, who's into the stretch and throwing a first pitch breaking ball low and away to Jay, called a strike one. Jay is 0 for 2 so far today. Swinging strikeout in the second, and then he popped out on the infield. Both of those at-bats against Sean Youngerman, who went 4 frames. The 0-1 pitch from Lee is a fastball at knee height to Jay, taken for ball 1. So Jay enters this game 2 of his last 8 in the last 3 ball games. Make that 2 for 10 in his last 10 plate appearances. He bats from the right side with an all-red barreled bat. Wooden handle, and he takes a strike upstairs on the fastball. Jay in the Kettleers dugout thought that one was a bit too high to be called strike 2, but it is. 1-2 the count on Grant Jay, who's playing behind the dish today for the second straight game. And the pitch from Lee. Breaking ball that Jay holds off of, and it's 2-2. Went down low with that pitch, tried to get him to chase. As the wind continues to blow towards straightaway center field, blowing this brand new netting all around Red Wilson Field and the trees in center. The 1-2 pitch is ticked straight back into the screen, and Jay will stay alive once more. So this is a brand new netting and backstop around Red Wilson Field. The netting used to only go just beyond the dugouts at the far side of them. Now they're extended about halfway up the baselines as the next pitch to Grant Jay is taken low and inside for a called strike 3. Third strikeout in this early outing for Justin Lee gets Grant Jay for the first out of this top of the 6th.
Lee just located that pitch right on the inside corner and seen that strike being called throughout the entire contest so far, and Jay knew it right away. Was frustrated in himself as he goes down on strikes for the second time today.
Here's Reese Holbrook, 1 for 2 so far, and the first pitch he sees takes a big hack at it, comes up empty. It's 0-1. He is 1 for 2. A single his last at bat in the 4th, was able to come around and score on Charles Davalon's RBI double. 0-1 the count. Justin Lee comes set. The red glove just above his belt, and the fastball is swung at and missed by Holbrook. He goes back to 0-2. Still a strong crowd here at Red Wilson. Wednesday night contest, the first teams to be underway in the CCBL this afternoon. The 0-2 pitch from Lee is tipped off of the glove of Neal, and luckily for Holbrook, he's unable to squeeze around it, and the count will stay at 0-2. Shaken up, though, is Neal after that foul ball.
He's holding his left wrist there, and it's the second time in consecutive innings that we've seen Neal go down, take a foul ball off of his left toe, or left foot rather, before, and definitely seems to get beaten up behind home plate.
The 0-2 from Lee. Breaking ball, check swing Holbrook. He did go around for strike 3, so a 4-pitch strikeout gets Holbrook as the 4th strikeout of the day for Justin Lee. Brings the top of the 6th inning to 2 down.
between Sean Youngerman and Justin Lee, they've done a good job of getting punch-outs. The 11th time Cotuit has struck out today, and Lee's doing a good job getting ahead of hitters here. And Holbrook thought he checked his swing, sort of held the position that his bat was in for a while, talking to the home plate umpire, but he goes down on strikes regardless.
Advincula digs in and takes a breaking ball up and away, 1-0. Third baseman Cade McGee will step up at third, play up on the infield grass and even with the bag, about 15 feet to the right of it. Infield playing the pull side for the left-handed swinging Advincula, who swats one foul high over the Y.D dugout and out of play. 1-1 the count to Advincula. A walk in the second, sac bunt in the fourth, and you brought up the importance of that bunt to advance Holbrook, who had just gotten his first hit as a Kettleer, into scoring position for Davallon to bring him in. And now the next pitch is fouled off the midsection of the bat of Advincula. That one gets into the parking lot, and now the count 1-2 on the left-handed swinging Cal Bear, who's playing a really strong second base these past 7 starts. Advincula was pinch hit for in Game 3, represented the last chance for the Kettleers against the Gatemen, but since then has been able to start in each game for the Kets. 1-2 pitch. Shot on the ground towards shortstop. Up with it behind the bag is Aloy. Throw is bounced into first. Petre can't come down with it, and Vincula beats it up the first base line. We'll see how they score that one, but the Kettleers will have a 2-out base runner in the top of the order coming up to the dish.
And it's going to be a hit for Advincula there. A tough play. The throw was low, but excellent speed from Advincula to hustle that ball out the entire way and make it a tough play for the shortstop Aloy. And he picks up a hit, and second time he's reached today.
So here's Charles Davallon. He is 1 for 3. A strikeout looking and a ground out to first in his first 2 at-bats of the day. Followed that up with a double. First pitch is bounced in there and blocked by Neal. He looks at Vincula back to first, and it's a 1-0 count to Davallon. Davallon with the home run in yesterday's game, did that 10 times this past season at Florida Gulf Coast. 56 games and 276 plate appearances as their leadoff man. The next pitch misses low and away, and it's 2-0 on Davallon. So fitting that he gets his first start for the Pinstripes in the leadoff spot. Taking advantage of it, he is 1 for 3. Advincula takes a short lead at first, being held on there by Petre. The ball gets away from Neal. Scampers behind Davallon and picks it up as Advincula will stay put at first.
And a good job by Neal to keep that ball in front of him, especially we've talked about it, such a wide backstop here. I wanted to have that pitch get behind you and have Advincula move up in a scoring position against Davallon, who's been a dangerous hitter.
Now a 3-0 count on him. Lefty in the back of the box, squatted down batting stance. He takes low and outside, and Davallon is on his way to first with a 4-pitch walk. So the Kets will put runners on first and second with 2 outs for Nolan Naraki.
The third walk of the day for the Kettleers is Davallon, patient, did not expand the zone against Lee, and now you have runners on first and second for Nolan Naraki, who has had really good games. A struggle today is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, but usually a hitter that you can always count on to deliver in situations like this.
So a righty on righty matchup. Lee takes a look at second, and the breaking ball is on the inner half for a strike 1 on Naraki. You mentioned the difficult day at the plate so far for Naraki. A great start to his Kettleers career. And this is 5th game played as Lee comes set. First base side of the rubber. The 0-1 pitch is up and inside to Naraki. Count evens up at 1-1. So a chance here to continue to extend this inning. 2 quick strikeouts worked by Lee in the bottom half of this order. Jaron Advincula reached on the infield single. Charles Davallon a short lead at first, not being held on by anybody. He worked the walk. And so first and second, and a 1-1 count on Nolan Naraki. Lee coming set. Here it comes. Call to strike 2. Dots low in the zone and gets ahead of Naraki 1-2. Justin Lee coming off of his freshman season at UCLA, where he had a 7.55 ERA and just under 40 innings pitched. And an even 40 strikeouts to go along with that. The 1-2 count to Naraki. Here it comes, a rolling ball towards the Y.D dugout and foul. So the Kettleers, with 4 runs scored in the first 4 innings of this ball game, headed into today. 7 runs scored from the 6th inning on in their last 2 contests. So the offense coming alive early, trying to continue that into the second half of this ball game, as the 1-2 pitch to Naraki again is fought off foul just above the Y.D dugout. Somebody got a hand on it. Everyone's okay. 1-2 the count remains to Naraki, who's worked a good battle here.
Naraki continuing to foul off pitches, 2 consecutive foul balls, and is about to see the 6th pitch in this at-bat.
He digs in with the all-black wooden bat parallel to the ground, a wide batting stance. Now he lifts the bat above that right shoulder. The 1-2 pitch from Lee is hammered into straightaway center field. Going back on it, Kim looking up, and that ball is deep into the trees. A 2-run home run for Nolan Naraki makes it a 6-1 ball game for the Kettleers here in the top of the 6th.
Naraki just demolished that pitch to straightaway center field, and he got behind in the count 1-2, fouled off a couple of tough pitches, then got a pitch that he could drive and did not miss it, hit it to straightaway center field. Is a tough day for Naraki with 3 strikeouts before, all erased with the 3-run bomb.
So the Kettleers make it a 7-1 ball game with 2 runners on base. Naraki blasting that one to deep center field. A 3-run homer for him. But the Kettleers just keep on hitting in this top of the 6th frame. And Tanner Thatch now the batter. The infield will play to the pull side. Nobody playing over at third. The third baseman McGee at normal position shortstop. And Tanner Thatch will take up and away. Count 1-1. Thatch also with a home run in this ball game, has reached on a walk and an error other than that. It was a solo shot back in the 3rd. Kettleers have been able to dominate right-handed pitching so far this season, as Thatch flares one straight back into the netting. Going into this ball game, 9 of their 10 home runs this season have come off of right-handed pitchers. Three today, all off of righties. Tanner Thatch with one of them. The 1-2. Fanned at and missed. A big violent hack from Tanner Thatch ends the top of the 6th, but not before. Cotuit rattles off 3 more runs off of a 3-run homer from Nolan Naraki to make it 7-1. Kettleers with a 6-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball on the Kettleers Radio Network.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
New pitcher in for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A 7-1 lead for the Kets following a 3-run home run from Nolan Naraki in the top half of this inning. There were 2 guys on base. So a 3-run bomb for Naraki. That math adds up, right, Alex?
I mean, I think it does.
Yeah.
Math is sometimes not my strong suit. So, but I think 2 + 1 does equal 3.
Yep. But nonetheless, what a drive by Naraki in the last inning. 3 home runs to center field, 4 total on the day in this ball game. Y.D. with the shortest center field fence in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and Kettleers and the Red Sox have taken advantage of it today. So Mike Villani is the new pitcher into the game for the Kettleers. He's facing Phoenix Call, starts him off with a first pitch strike on the inside corner. Call is 0 for 2. Villani working from the windup, hits Call on the left shoulder, and he is on his way to first.
That pitch from Villani just runs too far inside and clunks Call, so he reaches for the first time today. Going back to that home run by Naraki, Joe, traveled 385 feet, went 95 miles an hour off the bat, and actually the shortest home run the Kettleers have hit today, because the first 2 from Arroyo and Thatch both went well over 400 feet.
The first pitch to Vahiva Aloy missed, and the tall right-handed bat awaits the 1-0 pitch. Villani dials in a fastball right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Mike Villani comes set, glove above his belt, throws a breaking ball low and outside, backhanded by Grant J. Having to make his way into the left-hand batter's box to receive that one and keep Phoenix Call on first base. So it's the second leadoff man to reach base today for the Red Sox. Phoenix Call with a big lead at first as Thatch holds him on, and now a big swing from Wahiva Aloy sends the count to 2-2. Climbing the ladder that time was Villani with the fastball. Draws a big swing and miss. Now a chance to get Aloy for the 3rd time today. 2-2 pitch is hammered on the ground, back up the middle, reaching and past the glove of Jaron Advincula into center field. Davlon up and gunning, throws to third. Naraki receives it, and Call slides in with a head first dive, safe at third. Wahiva Aloy with a single, and the Red Sox have back-to-back base runners to start off this bottom of the 6th.
Just the second time this ball game that Y.D. has put back-to-back runners on base. Saw that the bottom of the 2nd, where Merritt Beaker worked in and out of trouble, but a dangerous situation here for Villani. Runners on the corners and no out, and you have the dangerous Easton Carmichael up.
Easton Carmichael with a great day against the Kettleers the last time these 2 teams squared off. Now with runners on the corners, takes a strike 1 from Villani. Carmichael going 3 for 4 against Cotuit. 2 runs scored, an RBI hit. Worked a walk as well. And now Y.D. trying to get back a few of the runs that the Kettleers got in the top half of this inning. The next pitch from Villani just barely misses outside with the fastball, and it's 1-1. Carmichael, a tough day at the plate today, though, in his second go-around against the Kets. He's 0 for 2. A pair of looking strikeouts, both of which were against Merritt Beaker. The 1-1 from Villani. From the stretch, a fastball at knee height is called a strike 2. So Carmichael down in the count once more.
That's something that we've seen from the Kettleers pitching staff today. Not afraid to challenge Carmichael. You saw Beaker really pound him on the inside zone, and now Villani's up 1-2.
1-2 pitch is flared high and foul over our heads, out of play. Carmichael stays alive at 1-2. So we are stationed just to the right of the press box here at Red Wilson Field, nearly looking directly up that third base line, just behind the Kettleers on deck circle. The 1-2 pitch from Villani bounced in just beyond home plate, and it's 2-2. Great glove by Grant J., whose job has gotten a lot more important with that runner on third.
That was a crucial block, especially we've talked about the large backstop here. But Jay going with the backhand, keeping it in front and keeping the runners at bay on the corners.
Villani set. Here's the 2-2 serving. Hard hit into right field. Back going Vu. He reels it in as the runner from third will tag up and score. Phoenix Call hustles in from 90 feet away to make it a 7-2 ball game on Easton Carmichael's sacrifice fly.
Just a good piece of hitting there by Carmichael. Got a pitch on the outer half of the strike zone. Didn't try to do too much with it. Put a good swing on it into the right field, and that was plenty deep enough for Call to come in and score.
So Kian Vu is the new right fielder for the Kettleers. Reese Holbrook, his day is done. Swing and a miss there on Ethan Petrie. And he is down in the count 0-1 on Mike Villani, who comes set now dealing with just a runner on first. The pitch is at knee height to Petrie and count 0-2. Villani's been able to get that pitch for a called strike a couple of times so far in this inning. Dotting the lower part of the zone. We'll see what he comes back with ahead 0-2. The pitch. Fastball. Clobbered to right center field. Vu going back along the fence line. He hauls that in by his right ear. A crucial second out of the inning for Mike Villani as the runner has to retreat back to first, and there are two gone here in the sixth.
Petrie hit that a long way into deep right field, and before the at-bat, Coach Mike Roberts told Vu to continue to back up into deep right field. And great coaching by Roberts there, and as Vu was pretty much in position, didn't have to move too much to haul in that out.
Jackson Chiarello tips the first pitch into the glove of Grant Jay, and he's down 0-1. Yeah, Vu new into this game. It's also interesting to have to deal with that short fence in right field. It's deep to either corner. Close to 320 down the right field line, 341 to the left field corner. The next pitch misses high to Chiarello. It's 1-1, and of course 352 to dead center. So it kind of just flattens out back there. Here's the 1-2 from Villani, and it's fouled straight back to the top of the screen. He's ahead 1-2 now. Villani done a great job of getting ahead in these counts. Meraki is playing deep at third, 8 feet off the line and back of the bag. Cerny closer to the bag at second, Advincula in the hole. As the 1-2 pitch is just barely missing on the outside corner. No, a delayed called strike three. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Kinney with a relaxed strike three. Ring him up there for Mike Villani to end the bottom of the sixth inning. Y.D. will leave one runner on first. They bring one run home on a sacrifice fly from Easton Carmichael to make it a 7-2 ball game. Kettleers leading by 5. And now once more we'll check in with our sideline reporter Adele Huffman with more.
Thanks, Joe. What a great game we've got going today. Chris Arroyo with that first home run in the first inning of the game. He is from Pasco Hernando State and originally from Puerto Rico, but next year he plans on attending Virginia, which just attended the World Series. But before the game, I got to talk a little bit to Chris, and he actually informed me that he has two horses that are very special to him. One named Galan, meaning handsome in English, and then one named Tokyo. So I didn't know Arroyo was a horse guy, but there's multiple sides to all of these players, and it's just so fun to get to know them and see that they love baseball so much, but they all have amazing traits outside of that.
Yeah, and guys who come to play in the Cape League because you have so many people from so many different places, different cultures. Now, on college teams, you'll have some guys from the same areas and maybe in the same region, but I mean, when you have just so many different guys to mesh and meld in different cultures, even being from Puerto Rico and having that experience, also living in Florida. I mean, I think just having so many guys from so many different areas only improves the team chemistry and brings everybody closer together.
But also shows or provides these guys an opportunity to show what their upbringing has been like, what their baseball career has been like with guys that maybe play in the West Coast or play like in Florida or Puerto Rico or even in the East Coast up here in Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, where baseball you can't play all year round like you can in California and Florida and all these different parts of the country. So it's always good to see summer ball and all these different backgrounds coming together and meshing as a team.
Yeah, it truly is, Adele, and pretty cool to see a couple of starting guys, one being from Puerto Rico, Chris Arroyo with a home run today, Charles Davallon, who we talked about a few innings ago with a home run, him being from Canada, so it's a diverse group here.
Awesome what summer ball can do to bring these guys together.
A new pitcher into the game for Yarmouth Dennis to start off this top of the 7th inning. Brandon Compton will lead off. And now on the mound, left-handed thrower Dylan Delvecchio makes his second appearance against the Kettleers. Throws low and outside and misses. 1-0. Delvecchio will enter the game and face Brandon Compton, who is 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts and the 1-0 pitch, a slow-moving breaking ball that Delvecchio dials in inside. 1-1. So with the way the Kettleers have hammered right-handed pitching so far today, wise of Scott Pickler to go to a southpaw out of his bullpen, who misses here low in the dirt to Compton to send the count to 2-1. They're going to play him on a massive pull with Vahiva Aloy playing directly behind the bag at shortstop. McGee far off the line at third. The next pitch misses low and inside to Compton. 3-1. McGee very far off the line at third, pretty much equidistant between the two bags there on the left side. Second baseman call in between the bags on the right side of the infield. The 3-1 pitch to Compton dots the box on the low side, and it's 3-2. Dylan Delvecchio out of St. Mary's just finished up his first season there, his sophomore season. The 3-2 pitch to Compton, rolled on the ground, foul just in front of the Kettleers' first base coach, Will Thompson. Smooth moves by Thompson to get out of the way of that one. At 6'7", but the guy can move.
Agile over there. Get him in the open field, Will Thompson.
3-2 pitch to Compton. He takes low and away, ball 4. Delvecchio enters the game and issues a full count walk to Compton, who reaches for the first time today.
Dylan Delvecchio actually the only lefty on this Y.D pitching staff. So coming in and going with the lefty-lefty matchup is Scott Pickler, but good at bat by Brandon Compton, who reaches for the first time today. A very patient hitter and draws the walk. Compton saw 7 pitches in that at bat.
And now the first pitch to Tyler Cerny, taken outside for a ball 1. Cerny batting from the right side, taking his first looks on Dylan Delvecchio, who comes set with the black glove just above his belt. The 1-0 pitch. He takes low and inside once more. And Cerny is ahead in the count. He's reached twice today on a pair of errors in the second and into third, and then a fly out to deep left field in the 5th. So 0 for 3 day so far for Cerny. An opportunity now with the leadoff man on first. Compton takes his lead. Line shot down the left field line, but hooking foul. Headed right towards the Y.D bullpen to deep down that left field line. That ball was hammered by Cerny.
Cerny just out in front on that pitch. Had a good beat on it, but just hooked it too far left of the left field line.
The wind continues to blow through Red Wilson Field here on the campus of Dennis Yarmouth High School. The 2-1 pitch gonna have to wait. Delvecchio checks back at Compton. He's back in standing up. Not too much of a stolen base threat. Hasn't really had the opportunity to in recent games. As he gets into his secondary, and the pitch is fought off into left field for a base hit. A hard hit ball off the end of the bat of Tyler Cerny, and he has his first base hit of the day. The Kettleers will put runners on first and second to start off this 7th inning.
Just a really good swing there from Tyler Cerny, and you could see it start to build in his recent plate appearances. Of course, yesterday, the 3 long fly balls today. He reached twice on errors also with another fly ball here today, and this time finally squares up a pitch from Delvecchio and hits it into left field. And after struggling and not getting the results, definitely feels good if you're Cerny to reach on the single.
And now for the first time this season, we'll see Timo Becerra get his first looks. Delvecchio with the ball in his bare left hand. It meets the black leather of his right mid as he takes a look at second. The first pitch to Becerra. Takes a big hack and fouls it back into the screen. 0-1. Becerra, a recent add to this Kettleers roster as they say goodbye to 7 players to the Team USA group down in Cary, North Carolina, 4 of which, as Mike Roberts said last night, will be returning. And the 0-1 pitch to Becerra is down the heart of the plate, 0-2. So he enters in his first at-bat with runners on first and second. So how about this to start off the career for Timo Becerra, who hails out of Stanford, right-handed bat. Just finished up his junior year for the Cardinal. Sways that bat above the right shoulder. The 0-2 pitch from Del Vecchio is flared into left field, charging in Cameron Kim, and in the alleyway, he'll haul in out number 1. Both runners go back to their bags, and that's how the first at-bat in the Kettleers uniform ends for Timo Becerra.
Becerra put a good swing on it, just a little bit out in front, and skied that into left field for his first at-bat as a Kettleer.
Put a charge into it and took a couple of aggressive hacks at the plate. And now here's Grant Jay. Right-handed bat, he's 0 for 3 today. Del Vecchio takes a look back at Compton at second and throws low and inside, ball 1 to Grant Jay. Jay entering this game, 2 hits in his last 3 contests, now 2 of his last 11. Two home runs on the season, now tied for the team lead with Tanner Thatch. Takes a big cut at the 1-0 pitch. It's low and outside, 1-1. Del Vecchio dials it in a perfect location and evens up the count. So Del Vecchio working with runners on first and second. Gets able to bring home 3 last inning on a 3-run homer from Nolan Naraki as Jay checks his swing and goes down in the count 1-2. Del Vecchio transferring from Tarleton State. 2-4 record there with a 7.42 ERA and 13 starts. Made a difference this past season at St. Mary's. As the next pitch is low and inside to Grant Jay, it evens up at 2-2. 18 appearances, 8 of which were starts, at a 4.53 ERA. Just above 45 innings pitched for Del Vecchio. He struck out 42 batters and held batters to a 224 clip. Grant Jay with a 2-2 count. Hammers one down the left field line and hooks it into the screen just beyond the Y.D dugout. So that flag above the Red Wilson Field scoreboard in left, ripping away towards deep center. The trees have been moving with the wind all night. A lot of fans on hand, mostly down that home side on the third base line. The 2-2 offering to Grant Jay. He takes down the heart of the plate for a called strike 3. So 2 quick outs here for Del Vecchio to get back after allowing the first 2 runners in this inning to reach base.
The third strikeout of the ballgame for Grant Jay. 2 of them have been looking, and a nice job by Del Vecchio, who ran into some trouble to begin the inning, bouncing back with the 2 outs.
Del Vecchio with his second trip around the Cape League, playing in 2023 with the Mariners. A division rival, a 4.64 ERA last year in Harwich. So Kian Vu is the new batter and takes a look at the first pitch down in the count, or down in the zone, and he is up in the count 1-0. So a defensive substitution for Reese Holbrook, who goes 1 for 3 in his Kettleers debut. Vu takes that one off the center of his back, turning inside immediately. And a breaking ball that catches him up high. Del Vecchio will exchange a few words with him as he walks up the first base line.
Vu grimaced in pain right after that breaking ball just hit him straight in the back. It brings up a big spot here for Jaron Advincula.
And a nice gesture from Del Vecchio, patting his chest, saying to Vu that that's my bad, and Vu looks like he's going to be okay, taking a big lead at first, Cerny at second, Compton at third, and an outside pitch called for a strike 1 on Advincula to the dismay of the Kettleers dugout. He's down in the count 0-1. So Del Vecchio taking some experience in 8 games last year with Harwich to this summer playing for Scott Pickler's Red Sox. The 0-1 pitch is hit on the ground off of the front leg of Advincula, and he is now down 0-2. So got to like the aggressive approach from Advincula at the plate, but at times it finds him behind in the count.
This is something we've seen the entire year with Advincula, swinging and being aggressive early in the counts, but he's just such a talented hitter at the dish where even if he gets behind in the count 0-2, 1-2, he's confident enough in himself and his two-strike approach that he knows he can get on with a hit or put together a quality at bat.
So with the bases juiced, Delvecchio comes set. The 0-2 offering. Advincula watches it bounce in the dirt and blocked by the new catcher. It's 1-2. Advincula with an opportunity to really blow this ball game open for the Kettleers as they lead it 7-2 here in the top of the 7th inning. Delvecchio set again, the 1-2 pitch upcoming. Advincula reaches out over the plate, flares it down the left field line, could be trouble, and it falls past the diving shortstop Aloy and perfectly down the left field line. Compton will score from third, Cerny from second, and it's a 2 RBI single from Jaron Advincula to make it a 9-2 ball game.
An excellent job by Advincula there, just flaring his hands out on that pitch was well on the outside corner, and Advincula just flaring it out into short left field, blooping it over the diving glove of the shortstop Aloy. And talk about that 2-out approach. Just he's a hard guy to strike out. Struck out just 16 times this past year at Cal, and just doing everything he can to stay alive. And this time, just a protective swing. That's some 2 RBIs.
Yeah, he tucks it in just beyond the cut of the grass down the left field line. And a good effort from Vahiva Aloy, the shortstop, to go to a dive to try to make the play, but it was about 3 feet out of reach. So Charles Davallon will have his 4th appearance at the plate today. Actually, his 5th plate appearance today, and he takes outside. It's 1-0. He's walked, roped a double, and was retired in his first 2 trips to the plate, so he is 1 for 3. A run scored and an RBI. The 1-0 pitch to Davallon is taken low and inside for a strike 1. 1-1 the count to him with runners on the corners. And Advincula just continues his strong play. Has extended an on-base streak to now 7 games in today's contest. The 1-1 pitch is inside on Davallon, and it's 2-1. And that's just huge to have at the bottom of your order.
He almost acts like a second leadoff hitter for Mike Roberts and his squad, hitting .423, and always have someone on base for the top of this order.
2-1 pitch. Davallon rolls it over towards first. Charging in is Petre, and he will apply the tag to Davallon, running up that first base line. So the Kettleers will leave 2 runners on base here in the top of the 7th inning. They bring 2 across on a 2 RBI single from Jaron Advincula. 9-2, the Kets lead it as we go to the home half of the 7th on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Mike Villani returns to the bump for the bottom of the 7th inning. The Kettleers lead it by 7 with a 9-2 lead. And Mark Villani starts off Cade McGee, the leadoff man in this 7th inning, with a ball low and outside. From the windup, working with the glove just above his belt. Throws a fastball that rattles the cage of Grant J. It fouls back, and it's 1-1 now. Cade McGee is 0 for 1 today. A strikeout looking. He walked in the 2nd. As Mike Villani is back out for his 2nd inning of work, allowed 1 run in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Cut on and missed. McGee reaching out beyond the box on the outer corner. 1-2 the count. Villani with 1 strikeout in that 6th inning. Allowed a run on a sacrifice fly from Easton Carmichael. The 1-2 pitch is down in the zone and a ball 2. We've had a few really delayed strike 3 calls from Jeffrey Kinney tonight. And that one seemed pretty close. Grant J framing it. They don't get the call, and it's 2-2. So another chance for Villani. With 2 strikes, he rolls it on the ground, and it's booted by the third baseman, Naraki, having to rush the throw across the diamond. It kicks off the glove of Tanner Thatch, and Cade McGee will be safe at first. A tough play to make there at third for Naraki. McGee will take advantage of the first fielding error by the Kets today and reach as the back-to-back leadoff mans from the 6th to the 7th inning reach for the Red Sox.
That's a tough break for Villani. To start off this inning, thought he had the strike 3 call. Grant J thought he had the strike 3 call. Popped up, nearly fired it down to first. But it's McGee who reached on the error.
He starts off Brady Neal with a strike. Neal is also 0 for 2. Now Villani working from the stretch on the first base side. The 0-1 pitch misses low and away, backhanded by Jay, and the count's 1-1. So the Kettleers, the last time they played Y.D, a 9-6 loss at Lowell Park. Errors really getting to him that day. 3 errors made on the infield by the Kets. None of those 9 runs were unanswered, though. The next pitch from Villani is down the heart of the plate to Neal, 1-2. So the first error today committed by the Kets, 3 already committed by the Red Sox earlier on in this ball game. And now the 1-2 to Neal. Take slow and outside, 2-2. So Villani trying to keep the Red Sox off the scoreboard in this 7th inning. He did allow 1 run in the 6th, and that's something the Kettleers have not done in their last couple games. Kets pitching and not allowed a run since after the 5th inning in their last 2 contests. The next pitch is flared straight back and foul by Neal. So that snaps 11 innings where the Kettleers bullpen has combined to allow just 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 14 strikeouts in relief to end ball games. The 2-2 pitch is fouled straight back again. So some outstanding efforts from this staff who, on the other end, Kettleers runs going into this game had all come beyond the 6th inning. So to get that production from both your bullpen in the second half of the game as well as your offense has really extended this win streak for the Kets to 5 games. 2-2 from Villani is off the end of the bat of Neal. Pop up into foul territory. Jay, receiving some help from his dugout, locates it just behind home plate for out number 1.
That's a good point that you bring up about the Kettleers bullpen, and it was really their last bad outing that they had was against Y.D. In the 9-6 loss, they gave up 8 runs, and that was a game that Cotuit had a 4-1 lead in after the 5th inning of play, but it was a 4-run top of the 6th and a 4-run 7th inning that really sealed the deal and gave the Cats their 3rd loss. But ever since then, they've been winners of their last 5 and getting great contributions from the lineup, and the bullpen have definitely been key, Joe.
Starting pitching has been really solid as well. Merritt Beaker, 5 1-run innings today. The first pitch missed to Cameron Kim, and the 1-0 is tipped into the glove of Jay, a fastball over the outer edge, 1-1. Kim is 0 for 2 today. Ground out straight back to the pitcher, and a K looking. 1 gone in the inning. Middle infielders are back. Nolan Naraki is deep at third, 5 off the line, and the 1-1 pitch fouled straight back.
Villani once again doing a good job following the lead of Merritt Beaker, getting ahead of this Y.D. lineup and always making sure that these hitters are battling back in counts.
Here's the 1-2 from Villani. Kim spoils it foul deep down the right field line into one of those empty fields that a team of kids will chase after. So there's a lot of open territory around Red Wilson Field, where the Red Sox have been playing since the summer of 1973. Cameron Kim, the 1-2 pitch, he sends a high fly ball creeping into foul territory towards the Kets on deck circle, and that will get into the Kettleers dugout. Tanner Thatch makes the catch along the stairwell, and that is good for out number. Now the runner's going to move up to second, so we'll see what the ruling is on this play. But Tanner Thatch was able to go into the Kettleers dugout just to our right and actually make that catch, Alex.
It's a really nice play by Tanner Thatch. Had to guard against the Kettleer dugout, and now it's Scott Pickler talking things over with the home plate umpire as Cade McGee stands on second. But regardless of the ruling, an excellent catch by Thatch.
An incredible job to locate it. Also important to note that the skies are a dark gray above Red Wilson Field, so tracking a ball is definitely not an easy task. And of course, the wind blowing it around as well, didn't even mention that. So the umpires will have a meeting just to the right of the mound right now. Talking things over, Jeffrey Kinney, home plate umpire, Al Liberdoni on the bases, along with Mike Rabideau. And so they're likely talking about if this is able to be called an out number 2, because he plays the ball outside of the field of play. And so the runner is able to advance to second on that play, but it still could technically be ruled an out. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct. I think that's the best guess that we have right now.
And now we have a decision. He will be out. Cameron Kim records the second out of the inning, but Cade McGee moves up into scoring position.
That's the second time we've seen a play that's made right by the dugout. It was actually Cade McGee a few innings prior, battling by the Y.D. dugout to hole on a pop fly, and now it's Tanner Thatch for Cotuit making that play.
Now the 9-man in the order, Jonathan Kim, steps up. The ball gets away from Grant J, booted towards the Red Sox on deck circle, and quickly up to 90 feet away goes Cade McGee. So McGee had to have been tagging at first base as Thatch got really tied up with the Kettleers dugout. So he was quickly able to advance to second and now stands on third. So heads up base running there from Cade McGee, who with the score at 9-2 stands 90 feet away with 2 gone in this bottom of the 7th inning. Jonathan Kim is 0 for 2, a flyout and a strikeout. Mike Villani trying to escape his second inning of work in his 3rd appearance for the Kets this season. 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Jonathan Kim goes back to 1-1. So now the infield will play straight up with Naraki at third, playing up on the grass. The 1-1 from Villani is fouled straight back and into the screen. Kim, coming off of his season at Michigan, where he hit .272 in 36 games played for the Wolverines. .427 slugging percentage, had 5 homers, 6 doubles. The 1-2 pitch. He checks his swing and goes down looking. Mike Villani picks up his second strikeout of the night. And the Kettleers leading 9-2 as we send things to the top of the 8th here on the Kettleers Radio Network. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 888-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Basic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Top of the 8th inning, dark skies overhead. Nolan Naraki will lead off this top of the 8th for the Kettleers. They lead at 9-2, and really, what more can you say about this offense, Alex, who has once again been able to get out to a sizable early lead in this ball game, and the bullpen just doing their job from there.
It's been another complete game here for the Kettleers, and it was an earlier start. Usually we've talked about the Kettleers their bats coming alive late in contest, but as soon as you jump out to a 4-0 lead right away and you get the starting performance that you had from Merritt Beaker, only allowing 2 runs, it's really just a winning formula.
So here's Naraki. First pitch, shot into left field, charging in the left fielder Cameron Kim, and has his hat breezes off the top of his head. He hauls in out number 1. So Naraki goes back to 1 for 5 on the day. That 3-run home run in the 6th put the Kettleers up 7-2 at the time. They've since extended that to 9-2. And now Tanner Thatch is the batter. Lefty on lefty matchup with Del Vecchio back on the mound. Bounced in there, 1-0 to Thatch. Playing to the pull side for Thatch, first baseman Petrie. Playing no doubles, close to the line at first and deep. Second baseman Call is deep in the hole at second. Vahiva Aloy close to the bag at second, just to the left of it as a shortstop. And now Cade McGee, as that last pitch missed, and it's 2-0. Will retreat back to normal depth shortstop, and the rest of the infield will follow. 2-0. Tanner Thatch takes, and it's 3-0. So Thatch, as mentioned, going into this game, tied for the team lead in walks, got another one in the 5th inning, and has reached 3 times today to go along with that home run. So an error, a walk, and a homer for Thatch, and the 3-0. Fastball down the heart of the plate, 3-1.
Saw Thatch swing at a 3-0 pitch earlier in this game, but decides to take.
3-1 again. He takes a big hack, and it's 3-2. So just like we saw him do a few innings ago, that was when he accepted that walk. Takes a big hack at the next pitch, and now the count is 3-2. Ties him up, popped up on the infield. Vahiva Aloy is under it, making his way to the infield grass, and just in front of second base. Brings in out number 2. So Tanner Thatch goes down on the pop-up, and quickly there are 2 gone in this top of the 8th.
Nice job by Del Vecchio after falling behind in the count 3-0, battling back and putting pitches that Thatch could hit, and just weak contact so far here in this top of the 8th.
Brandon Compton is 0 for 3. He walked his last time up. Now his 5th plate appearance. He takes outside for a called strike 1. Compton, a great start to the season, making a 3-6 day as he takes a big swing at a pitch down in the dirt. 0-2. Excuse me, going 3 for 6 in his first game start, or in one of his games started against Harwich. But since that contest, haven't been able to find too much success at the plate as he flares one towards third, tracking back on it McGee, and he pulls that down for out number 3. So the Kets go down 3 up, 3 down in this top of the 8th inning, a 9-2 lead as we go into the home half of the 8th here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today. Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399. Move into the bottom of the 8th inning here on the Kettleers Radio Network. Joe Pratt, Alex Rocco are with you. Thick overcast clouds above Red Wilson Field. They blew in here early on in this ball game, around the 2nd, and haven't left. Mike Villani hasn't left this ball game. He works into his 3rd inning of work. A foul tip into the glove of Grant Jay starts off this 8th inning for Phoenix Call, the leadoff hitter. Tore the cover off the ball his first time against the Kettleers, but is 0 for 2 today. The 0-1 pitch rolled on the ground, a 2-hopper to short. Cerny charging in and on the infield grass, throws on the run, and it's in time by a half a step at first to get Phoenix Call, who was hustling up the first base line. So a 6-3 putout starts off this bottom of the 8th. Kettleers still leading 9-2, and we'll see how long this umpiring crew lets him go in this ball game.
Saw them talking near the third base line while Mike Villani was warming up as the clouds really continue to darken here. And just, of course, as I say that, begins to brighten up a little bit.
Well, we'll see. Always a decision to be made, and depends on how long this bottom of the 8th takes for the Red Sox. But Villani working quickly and dials in a fastball on the bottom part of the zone to even up the count at 1-1. He's facing Vahiva Aloy, who's 1 for 3. Started off his day 0 for 2, but a single in the 6th. And now he goes back to 1-2, a violent hack at a fastball from Villani, who's done a great job of getting ahead in counts. And a high strike thrower so far, nearing the 50 pitch mark. Brings the glove back behind his hat and throws. Misses up and away. 2-2 the count now to Aloy. Evo Aloy, .270 hitter this past season at Arkansas. Played in 60 games for the Razorbacks. The 2-2 pitch, and it hits off of the thigh of Grant Jay as it bounces in there. Jay a little bit shaken up, and the count pushes to full. 3-2 on Aloy. Catcher's really been beat up in this game. We saw it on the other side, Brady Neal, and then he was eventually taken out of the game. But Jay remaining behind the dish for what looks to be all 8 innings today. Infield, outfield playing straight up. Villani's 3-2 offering. Aloy cracks it towards short. Cerny receives it on 2 hops and behind the bag, throws in time to get the second out of the bottom of the 8th. So a pair of ground balls to short, and Y.D. is potentially down to their final out.
Villani continues to work just soft contact here, back-to-back groundouts to the shortstop Tyler Cerny, and not really relying on the strikeout pitch, allowing his defense to help out and make some plays here. And Cotuit defense once again really doing a nice job despite the 1 error.
Here's Easton Carmichael from the windup. Villani goes into his delivery and dials in a breaking ball that turns in on a string. Perfectly placed. Carmichael couldn't do anything with that, and he is now down 0-1. Naraki exchanging some words with the third base umpire. 0-1. He's playing deep at third. That pitch misses low. Naraki deep at third, playing 8 feet off the line. Tanner Thatch far off the line at first base. Something blew into the right field corner. Kian Vu had to go remove that from the playing surface. He's back into his position in normal depth right. Villani refocuses as Carmichael digs back in. The count is 1-1. Here it comes. Chin music to Carmichael sends the count to 2-1. Carmichael 0 for 2 with a sac fly in the 6th. owns one of 2 runs driven in by the Red Sox today. The 2-1 pitch is shot, diving play, and off the forehand part of the glove by Jaron Advincula, nearly robbing Easton Carmichael of a hit. Boy, what an acrobatic play that would have been for Advincula. An acrobatic play just to get a piece of the leather on it. But he's unable to come down with it. That'll go down as a hit for Carmichael, who improves to 1 for 3.
Advincula went full extension and nearly gloved that line drive, just hit off the tip of it. But a heck of an effort just to knock that ball down.
Petrie takes a strike on the outer corner. Petrie 1 for 3, a single in the second, home run in the fourth to start off his Red Sox career, making his CCBL debut today. And now he backs up off the plate from that breaking ball from Villani. Count 1-1. Villani now working with a runner on first, Easton Carmichael. Out of Oklahoma this year. No stolen bases there. Hard hit on the ground towards Cerny. Camped under it with the backhand, but it boots into shallow left field. Takes a nasty ricochet off of what looked to be the glove of Cerny. And now the Red Sox will put runners on first and second with 2 gone in this 8th inning.
Petrie hit that ball hard off the bat. Cerny waited for it, went with the backhand, just ball took a funny hop off of his glove, so they'll give him an error. So the second error committed by the Kettleers defense today, and now it's runners on first and second, still with 2 outs in this inning.
Ket's pitching done a fantastic job of keeping runners off the base paths, but 2 errors in the 7th and in the 8th. 2 total to Y.D's 3 total on the game so far. So Villani now with runners on first and second. From the stretch, a first pitch fastball low in the zone for a called strike 1 on Jackson Chirello. Chirello is 0 for 3, but actually a pinch hitter will bat for him. And the 0-1 pitch, fanned out and missed. Tippett goes back to 0-2. Will Tippett batting here for Jackson Chirello with runners on first and second. Villani coming set, glove just above his belt. The 0-2 pitch is a fastball taken low and outside, 1-2. The at-bat continues for Will Tippett, who is out of South Carolina. Finished up the spring there, playing in 48 games for the Gamecocks, a 181 hitter. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Villani strikes him out, his 3rd of the day. And down go the Red Sox in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Kettleers leading 9-2. We'll take a quick break on the Kettleers digital network from Yarmouth Dennis. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Hi, this is Sean Keys, third baseman from Bucknell University, and you're listening to the Cotuit Kettleers Broadcast Network.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Since 1995, MK Basic Plumbing and Heating has been your
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
So the ball game continues into the top of the 9th inning from Red Wilson Field. Tyler Cerny will lead things off for the Kettleers. Delvecchio is back on the bump for Yarmouth Dennis. His first pitch from the windup. Cerny watches it go down low for ball 1. Cerny reached on a pair of errors early on in this ball game, but just notched his first hit in the 7th. Came around to score on an RBI single from Jaron Advincula, and now he takes strike 1. 1-1 the count to Tyler Cerny. Red Sox infield playing slightly to the pull side for him. And the righty awaits from the lefty Delvecchio. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball. One hopper to short. Up with it, gunning to first is Aloy, and it's in time there to get Cerny for just the 2nd time today. But still a hard hit ball off the bat of Cerny, too.
Cerny's done a good job really making hard contact throughout this entire contest, and a couple of defensive changes for Y.D. here. Phoenix Call moves from second to center field. Ryan Sprock comes into the ballgame. He replaces Cade McGee at third base.
First pitch to Becerra, misses up and away, 1-0.
Jonathan Kim moves from center field to right field. And Will Tippett, who pinched hit for Jackson Chirello, plays second.
The 1-0 pitch hits Becerra on the back leg. Tried to get out of the way of that one. And it's just a breaking ball that ran too far inside against the right-handed swinging Timo Becerra. So he reaches in his 2nd plate appearance as a Kettleer with 1 gone in the top of the 9th.
Becerra tried to get out of the way. Was elusive in the batter's box, but that pitch just ran way too far inside and drilled him.
Few hit by pitches today on either side. Delvecchio's first pitch to Grant J is low and inside, but perfectly placed on the inner corner. 0-1. Grant J, 3 strikeouts today, surrounding a pop out on the infield. He's 0 for 4. Delvecchio comes set, now working from the stretch. Takes a look at first, the 0-1. J watches it go by for a called strike 2. And a big reason for that likely is J once again facing a 2-strike count.
They've attacked him early, and Jay's gotten deep in accounts, but this is something he's been working on with Coach Roberts.
Great block by the catcher. Throwing down to second, Becerra dives in with the head first slide, and he is safe. Heads up base running there from Becerra, who quickly advances to second on that ball that booted away from the new catcher for Y.D. So now, with a runner on second, Grant J working with a 1-2 count on Delvecchio. He peers in, and now comes set. The 1-2 home is a breaking ball low and outside. A good eye from Grant J to send the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And this is something he's been working on with Coach Roberts, facing off-speed pitches and battling back in 2-strike counts, and he's definitely done a good job with it. Had a couple of home runs on 2-strike pitches.
Takes a big hack at the next pitch and shoots it foul at the base of the Red Sox dugout. Rattles off there on the bottom netting of that dugout on the third base side. But yeah, you mentioned his work being put in with Mike Roberts, trying to slow down his hands, trying to limit those strikeouts. And it has clearly paid off for some plate appearances, but still working through some of the growing pains of those adjustments as Jay takes low and inside for a called strike 3. He falls back to 0 for 5 on the day, and Kian Vu, who was a defensive substitution earlier this game for Reese Holbrook, will have his second looks on Delvecchio. So Vu reached his first time up with a hit by pitch. That was in the 7th inning. Now with a runner on second, Delvecchio comes set. His second looks on the lefty is a breaking ball, low and outside, taken for a called strike 1. Perfectly placed there on the breaking ball from Delvecchio. Has had good control of that pitch. As the skies continue to darken at Red Wilson Field, Delvecchio comes set, peeks back at second and the 0-1 home. Vu rolls it on the ground towards first. Up with it the first baseman, Petrie, and he will race to the bag himself for out number 3. So the Kettleers put a runner in scoring position. They can't do anything with him there as they still lead it 9-2 as we go into the bottom half of the 9th inning here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor. located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor.
Three outs remaining for the Kettleers to get here in the bottom of the ninth inning. 9-2, they lead it, and a new pitcher enters the game for Mike Roberts and the Kets, trying to close out a sixth straight victory for Cotuit. It's Jacob Schaefer. He will relieve Mike Villani. Schaefer out here with another appearance for the Kettleers, just 3 outs to get against Y.D. And Mike Roberts was asked last night postgame by Adele Huffman how meaningful it is to have efficient pitchers out there amidst this 6-game stretch. Now 4 games left after this one.
And while Schaefer struggled in his first outing, you saw him bounce back, and he was one of those efficient pitchers who came in, pitched 2 2/3 innings pitched, gave up just 1 hit, did not allow a walk, and struck out 4 against Brewster, and he's just been one of several Kettleers to come out of the bullpen and have success. Mike Villani did the same today, went 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, only 1 run, and they've gotten excellent performances out of the bullpen, and Schaefer looking to cap off what would be their 6th straight victory.
So Schaefer will enter the game. And pitch to Sprock, who bats from the right side and rolls the first pitch he sees on the ground towards Cerny. Gloves it at the cutlet of the grass and throws on the run in time for out number 1 in this 9th inning. So this is the second game of a 6 games in 6 days stretch for the Kettleers. And as just mentioned, Adele talking with Roberts at the end of last night's game. Coach mainly saying that pitching-wise, it can really get to you, these 6 games in a row in 6 days, and with just 15 pitchers on the roster, as the next pitch is shot on the ground towards third. Diving stab by Naraki, and he throws in time at first to get Cade McGee, having to slide to his right. And a forehand grab by Naraki, quickly up with it, and there's 2 gone.
What a pretty play by Nolan Naraki, flashing the leather over at the hot corner, going into the slide, popping up in time, and throwing over a bullet. But this is a great start for Jacob Schaefer. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
First pitch to Cameron Kim. Big swing and a miss, low in the zone. He chases after it and can't quite get a piece. Down 0-1 is Kim. So the Kettleers with just 2 relievers used in this game, setting themselves up nicely for the rest of the week, as the next pitch is a check swing. Kim did go around, and it's 0-2. 9-2, Cotuit leads it. 0-2 the count to Cameron Kim with 2 gone in the 9th. Here it comes. Bounced in there. Grant J scoops it up with nobody on the base paths. And the count 1-2. Middle infielders playing straight up. Thatch is far off the line. Cameron Kim, right-handed hitter, pulls Naraki close to the left field line. The 1-2 from Schaefer. Fastball cut on and miss, strike 3. Ball game over. The Kettleers win it 9-2 in their first trip to Red Wilson Field this season. An offensive explosion in the first 4 innings of this game. The Kettleers grabbed an early lead, and Merritt Beaker settled things down before the bullpen was able to close out the rest of this contest. And a great performance for the Kettleers as they extend their win streak to 6 straight.
Another complete performance today by the Kettleers. The offense came to play early on, jumped out to a 4-1 lead after 4, and it was really just great starting pitching from Merritt Beaker. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, just the 1 earned run, and struck out 7, and was really efficient, just threw 67 pitches. But great pitch relief outing from Mike Villani, Jacob Schaefer working the 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th to capture the victory. But of course, the story of the day was the offense and the 3 home runs that really sparked this 9-2 victory.
Yeah, now 12 out of Cotuit's league-leading 13 home runs have come off of right-handed pitching. And so that is massive moving forward, and hopefully the Kettleers are able to keep their winning ways alive as we move on throughout this 6 games in 6 days stretch, as we were just mentioning during that 9th inning. But a 9-2 win for the Kettleers. You mentioned the first half offense really taking over this ball game and building momentum as it continued throughout. But those 3 runs in the 6th, the 2 more runs in the 7th, really pushing the Kettleers to this 6th straight win. But what more can you say about this staff just to keep runners off the base paths and not even give the other team a chance to score?
That's exactly right. And you limited the amount of runners in scoring position. And when they did, Y.D was virtually not effective. They were not effective at all. They were 0 for 4. They left 6 guys on base. And this is just a credit to this pitching staff of having the ability to bear down when they do run into a bit of trouble. Saw that in the bottom of the 2nd when there was runners on the corners against Merritt Beaker. But he got Cameron Kim to ground out on a ball right back to him. That ended the inning. But just a really effective pitching by the Kettleers and paired with great offense. That's what led them to this 6th straight victory and now sitting with a 7-3 record.
Continuing to climb atop or towards the top of the Western Division. But the first place in the West Division right now, Wareham Gateman leading Harwich 6-2 right now in the bottom of the 7th at Spillane Field. Falmouth 7-1 lead over Orleans. Hyannis tied at 1-1. And it's important to note that the Brewster Whitecaps are off today. That is the Kettleers' opponent for tomorrow's game at Lowell Park, a 5 p.m. first pitch there. And so the Kettleers squaring off with the Whitecaps for the 2nd time. And that first performance and another one amidst this 6-game winning streak for the Kettleers, in which the pitching staff really stole that game and the offense really just did exactly what they've been doing.
That's exactly right. In that game, Cotuit came away with a 6-1 victory. And really the story of that game was the pitching. Like you mentioned, Ben Jacobs went in that outing. 3 innings pitched, allowed just 1 hit, struck out 5, and then it was 2 excellent performances out of the bullpen. Joey Volchko, Jacob Schaefer, they combined just allowed 1 run on 3 hits, striking out 8 batters. So they've gotten really effective pitching from their starters and from their bullpen, and of course, the contributions from the lineup getting hits up and down. And that was a game where Nathan Hall shined, Devin Taylor worked, 3 walks, also tripled. So Cotuit getting contributions from literally anyone and everyone, so amidst this 6-game winning streak.
Yeah, and that game against Brewster this past week was one that was a lot similar to the game today. Not only the weather, but also the way that the team played. An early offensive advantage, and then the pitching staff really stealing the show from there. So that's going to do it for us here on our coverage between Game 10, the Red Sox, and the Cotuit Kettleers. For our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, she's about to be talking with Mike Roberts post-game after his 7th win of this Cape Cod Baseball League season. And he said he didn't want to get too high or too low after that 1-3 start. Well, since he said that, the Kettleers have won 6 straight games. And so that mentality clearly paying dividends as we move past the first 10 games of this season. And that's going to do it here from Red Wilson Field. Adele Huffman, our sideline reporter. Check out our post-game interview with Mike Roberts on the Kettleers YouTube channel. For Jimmy Chantulis and Cam Christie on the controls, doing a great job as always. For my broadcast partner, Alex Rocco, and for myself, Joe Pratt, as the Kettleers win it 9-2 here on Wednesday night to take down Yarmouth Dennis for the first time this season. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Lowell Park for Cotuit's 2nd game